Thank you. All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. We're going to pick this up in John chapter 5 and verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how could you believe my words? All esteem and praise the Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Shalom, Mika. Shalom, Jay. Shalom, Brother Herman, man. Let's get this show on the road. Isaiah chapter 8. Chapter 8, verse 10. We're going to try to hit two things. One that I should have already done, and one that I intended to do when it came up. Along the same vein of what we already been dealing with. Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 10. Take counsel together, and it shall come to naught. Speak the word, and it shall not stand, for Elohim with us. For Yahuwah spake thus to me with a strong hand. Peace, Brother Omar. And instructed me that I should not walk in the way of this people, saying, say you not a confederacy. To all to whom this people shall say a confederacy, neither fear you their fear, nor be afraid. Sanctify Yahuwah of hosts himself, and let him be your fear, and let him be your dread. And he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense to both the houses of Yasharal, for a gin and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. What's happening with you, Zoe? By the way, man, Zoe say this old lady's in the delivery room expecting, you know what I'm saying? So send some prayers in their direction that they have a safe delivery. What y'all have in mind? I think you told me before, but I forgot if you did. My mind said little girl, but forgive me because my mind bad. I don't want anything that you have something. Yes, sir, baby girl. Yes, sir. That's what's on the way. Lord willing, everything be smooth. And many among them shall stumble, fall, and be broken, be snared, and be taken. And you don't know, verses 14 and 15 in this particular passage is definitely dealing with shalom on stuff. How Yahushua himself would be happy birthday to you too, man. A snare and a trap. A lot of people don't know that. And you know what I'm saying? That the gospel of Yahushua HaMashiach is a snare and a trap. You know what I'm saying? So we can deal with that. Maybe not today. You know what I'm saying? But in the near future. Verse 16, bind up the testimony, seal the law among the disciples, my disciples. Remember that bind dealing with affliction, distress. And I will wait upon Yahuwah to hide his face from the house of Jacob, and I will look for him. Behold, I and the sons whom Yahuwah have given me are for signs and for wonders in Yasharal, from Yahuwah of hosts which dwell in Mount Zion. And we need to visit verse 18 and what that referred to, because we didn't talk about that in a long time. And when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits, and unto wizards that peep and that mutter, shall not a people seek unto their Elohim, for the living to the dead, to the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it's because there is no light in them. So what I wanted to deal with was, because Mother Sharona had mentioned it, it's about how Yahushua fulfilled the day of affliction. I mean, the day of atonement. So, yes, son. So when it comes to that, we're gonna take a look at that. You know what I'm saying? Because we're dealing with bind, and that bind is dealing with the sufferings of afflictions. So let's come over here to Leviticus 23 first and foremost. Yes, son. You want me to acknowledge you, but you're not the tribal chief. I'm the tribal chief. Jamal, you refuse to acknowledge your tribal chief? Are you gonna look at me and ride away? Oh, you acknowledge your tribal chief. You have to lift up your ones. You have to lift up your ones, son. Let's come over here, Leviticus chapter 23, verse 26. Shalom, Eric, man. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, also on the 10th of the 7th month, a day of atonement, it shall be a Kadash convocation unto you. You shall afflict your souls and offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. So what does it mean to afflict your souls? You had Hebrews who argue about that. I'm not finna argue with nobody about that. I think at some point, when you look at fasting, and we'll look at Isaiah 58 as it pertains to that and a couple other places, you're denying your body what it needs. You need food and water to survive. And as we've talked about many times over the course of the decade, if you can deny the body what it needs, then you can deny the body what it wants. I think a lot of people overlook that aspect of the discipline that you're supposed to be learning and afflicting your soul. But of course, we're going to take it a step further with the affliction that this man took by afflicting his soul in the literal sense. But nevertheless, I just want y'all to hear what afflict means in this particular passage. Because I think if there was if there's any and anything that a Hebrew can argue about, they're going to find a way to do it. I can tell you that. They're going to find a way to do it. And again, afflict is a word that you've heard plenty of times. And it is a na. Ayin, noon, and hey. It's a verb. It's to be busy with, to be afflicted, to oppress, to humble, to be afflicted, to be bowed down, to be depressed, to be downcast, to weaken oneself, to afflict, submit oneself, so on and so forth. Verse 28, you shall do no work in that same day, for it is the day of atonement, to make atonement for you before Yahuwah your Elohim. For whatsoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted in the same day, he shall be cut off from among his people. Whatsoever soul it be that do any work in that same day, that soul will I destroy from among his people. You shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations and all your dwellings. It shall be a Shabbat of rest. You shall afflict your souls in the ninth day of the month at even. From even to even shall you celebrate your Shabbat. And we're going to take this and it's going to deal with a couple things we done already discussed. Notice that he tell you to be the Shabbat of rest. Shabbat, of course, is this one here is regular Shabbat. That's Sabbath, Day of Atonement, Sabbath, year, week, produce, all that there in the third. When you look at this is a Sabbath of rest. This is Shabbaton. This is an observance. We mentioned this other day, Day of Atonement, weekly Sabbath, so on and so forth. This is a special holiday. This special holiday, you will afflict yourself, humble yourself, as we just read in this one here. But then I want you to hear when he say no manner of work. That is Melachah, words no occupation, no work, no business, no service, no use, no any of that. Also, it said personal business, but let me make sure. 10K, Shalom, 10K. Yes, Jamal. Bring that back over here, son. Thank you. Give me that, please. Thank you, sir. Yes, public business. I understand, son. So keep that in mind. Let's come over here to Leviticus 25. Stop biting that cord, boy. Why are you doing that? Leviticus 25, man. Didn't I just say start doing that, boy? Oh. Come over here to 25 and 6. Peace, man. Boy, you out here in that, boy? Oh, my God, today. Well, I'd have called off. I guess it ain't going to matter. It ain't like you're going to be able to buck that weather up there, man. Well, you be safe out there, boy. That's dangerous. That's dangerous stuff. They just said a lady died in Georgia from hypothermia. Shalom, man. Because that doggone felt like 16, an abomination, boy. I'm from the South. I ain't on that. That reminds me, that junk be pissing me off when these people, it's 35 degrees outside right now. I feel like 29. We're supposed to be about 29 degrees in the morning, man. I ain't felt nothing like that since the 80s, but it say next Friday to be 75. Preferably, we'll live to see it. The Lord is good. You know what I'm saying? I be hating these people who be moving from up north down south talking about 15. My God, today. Oh Lord. Let me say, no, the people from up north be talking about, man, New York would have never. That's a lady literally said that. Why they closing the schools? New York would never. I started telling her, well, go back up there then. You know what I'm saying? And I say that because how you leave the north because of the cold to come to the south for the warmth and then expect people in the south to conduct themselves in abnormally cold situations like they do up north. We don't live like that. We don't live like that. We don't salt no roads, nigga. We got no snow plows, nigga. Ain't nobody got no snow shovel down here, man. You know what I'm talking about? Man, do you know how long it's been since it's been this cold outside? Shalom, brother Mike. Y'all know how, but it ain't been this cold in a long time. It used to be cold like this in the 90s on a consistent basis. When you talk about going outside and it's only 40 with no sunshine, no nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? About 30 days ago, it was just 80 degrees. Like every day. You talking about why the school closed? Because we going to be mixed mashing on some ice, nigga. That's why. They had to close the bridges because they was iced down. That's the type of weather how you smoking a cigarette with your arm out the window. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, we not, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we not prepared for that. That's what y'all came down here for. Don't come down here for the warm weather and then complain why they got to shut everything down when it's snow or it's ice on the ground. This the South, man. What you talking about? Bro, it snowed in Pensacola, bro. You know what I'm saying? Well, it snowed in Tallahassee, but it was literally snow on the beach in Destin, man. That is abnormal. People talking about, see, now y'all gonna say it's no global warming. Clearly, this can't be global warming if it's that cold, man. I get tired of hearing people saying this man messing with the weather. Maybe it's Yahuwah doing it. You don't want it to be from him, so you want to blame it on Mr. Chopper. He said, yep, on the East Coast, the school should be closed up here. So should. You know what I'm saying? I don't be on that man did it. Shalom, Sister Regina. I ain't be on none of that. Boy, if the weather bad, Yahuwah did it. I ain't, but what that man told you in Isaiah 42:8, let me read it to you in case you don't know what it say. Just in case you don't know what it say, so you can understand why I wouldn't even. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. Man, the people ain't got as much technology as they want you to believe they got. Some people tell you anything, you believe it because they put it in the movie. Isaiah 42:8. I'm Yahuwah, that is my name. My esteem will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images. That man said in the book of Jeremiah, he tell the seas, let me read it to you. Chapter 4. So guess what? If he wanted the whole world to freeze, he could make it freeze. He wanted to heat it up, he'll heat it up. I don't give them people that much power over what he do, man. Oh, Mercedes, you got to wait on that, baby. We working. You know what I'm saying? We working. You're going to have to wait till we done. We working, man. This is a simulcast, baby. This ain't a regular clubhouse situation or circumstance. You dig? Jeremiah, I'm sorry. My apologies. Jeremiah, chapter 4, verse 21. How long shall I see a standard and hear the sound of the trumpet? My people is foolish. They have not known me. They are Sodom's children. They have no understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. I beheld the earth, and lo, is without form and void. The heavens, and they had no light. I beheld the mountains, and lo, they trembled, and the hills moved lightly. I beheld, lo, there was no man, and all the birds of the heavens were fled. Beheld, and lo, the fruitful place was a wilderness, and all the cities thereof were broken down at the presence of Yahuwah and by his fierce anger. Thus have Yahuwah said, the whole land shall be desolate, yet I will not make a full end, for this earth shall mourn, and the heavens above be black, because I've spoken it, I purposed it, and will not repent, neither will I turn back from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how serious that is. That ain't even the part I want. Let me find the other part I want. I'm sorry. What you say, man? I don't speak like nothing, man. That Yahuwah speak like that. I'm just letting you know we don't give no credit to man where it ain't due. I ain't gonna take no credit from Yahuwah and give it to a man because it sounds good. I ain't gonna do it. Yeah, I was other chapter 5 and 22. I just don't operate like that. Not since I've been in the Word. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a new thing. You can check the archives, baby. We've been doing this a long time. I ain't never said them white folks played with no weapon. I ain't never believed in no harp or none of that. You know what I'm talking about? Man, if it rained every day for 50, if this man told you he made it rain for 40 days in a row, I ain't giving Mr. Charlie that type of credit. Yeah, peace, Brother Joseph. I ain't giving Mr. Charlie that type of credit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? This man made this entire earth to be inhabited, man. That means it ain't going to never get hot enough where everybody going to die. These people tell you we running out of food. If the man made the earth to be inhabited, they ain't going to run out of food unless he calls a famine. And he calls a famine for whatever reasons he chooses to cause one for. You know what I'm talking about? I just say that because living in the United States of America specifically, we done took on the thought process that Mr. Charlie is way more intelligent, extremely more wise, and exponentially more powerful than he really is. You've bought into the storyline of white superiority and supremacy to believe that these people are going to do all these things. See, I'm not one of them people who be on the internet, you know what I'm saying, with conspiracy theory videos and things of that nature, man. And just because, see, they put it in a movie, so they must really got it. You can't be that goddamn stupid, man. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some things they put in a movie they can do, sure. It's some things they put in movies just to be able to convince you that they can do more than what they can. Because they would rather you worship at their footstool as if they're God than for you to worship your own God. And I just absolutely, utterly reject that deposit. I refuse. I ain't going to do it. You can do what you want. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do it. Jeremiah 5 and 20. Declare this in the house of Jacob and publish it in Yehudah, saying, hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding, which have eyes and see not, which have ears and hear not. Fear you not me, saith Yahuwah. Will you not tremble at my presence, who have placed the sand for the bound of the sea by perpetual decree that it cannot pass, though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet they cannot prevail, though they roar, yet they cannot pass over. So if this man saying every one of y'all that been to the beach at least once in your life, I would surmise, you done seen them waves try to overtake that sand and it never happens. You know what I'm talking about? Is there a little thing called beach erosion? Sure. But in general, it don't happen. That's right, no, he allowed it. He let that happen. But see, there's no such, I don't look at something as about being a conspiracy theory. Some things you just have to look at that there's evidence that this could be the case. Just like they say, you know, my homeboy, well, I ran across a video, right? It said why Martin Luther King married Coretta. Come back to Leviticus 25. Because they said he liked white women and it wouldn't have looked good for the movement to him to be married to a white woman. And everybody in these comments was like, no, because you want to uphold the image of somebody when you don't know this man. Regardless of what he may have done, socio-politically and things of that nature, you don't know Michael King, because that's his real name. His name is not Martin Luther King. You don't know Michael King. You don't know what he into, what he ain't into, what he would do, what he wouldn't do. You ain't know that man. You ain't hang with that man. There's a multitude of government documents stating what this man was on. Now, I mention that because Trump said he's going to release the classified, shalom, Brother Marcus, the classified documents as it pertains to Robert F. Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King Jr. You know what I'm talking about? He going to release these. Because I remember, I think Mary J. Blige played Coretta in the movie, and they got mad because they showed him being a philanderer. But I mean, it's plenty of documents out here that's known that Martin Luther King liked white women. No, they haven't. They supposed to be released in 2027 regardless. But Trump saying he going to put them out there early. They're supposed to be declassified in 2027. I think it's what it is. Like 60 years, they got to hold on to them files or something of that nature. I don't know. But 2027, they would do to be declassified. You know what I'm saying? But I mention that because you can't be putting these people on a pedestal thinking they wouldn't do this and wouldn't do that because this will destroy whatever image you created in their mind, because then you would know this man just as wicked as you is. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to deal with that. They be like, they don't do that to they white heroes. Yeah, they do. They put out there that John F. Kennedy was a whore every day. That he did coke. They never hid this man was no whore. That's right. He wrote 3 books with his own hand telling what, like that man was not, look at, and I'm just talking about the freaky stuff. These people do not hide that these people be no freaks, man. You know what I'm talking about? They ain't hide that Bill Clinton was no freak. They ain't try to hide that. They ain't try to hide none of that. They let it, hey man, look here. They don't hide none of that. If black people want to act like, oh no, he could have never did that. The man like to trick with white women, man. Deal with it. If you let the fact that he liked to trick with white women take away from what he did, that's on you. I can separate the two. Okay, he did this here, but he liked white women. What you want me to do? If 14 white women came up and said, yeah, I had sex with him, and here's the proof, you gonna call them lies? The reason why that jump popped up because it said Coretta was an Eastern Star, but they said nobody could find information that Martin was a Mason, but he was an honorary one. But it was basically she was an Eastern Star. I don't know why nobody shot because you know Rosa Parks won. I mentioned that because we read Isaiah chapter 8, verse 9, 10, and 11, talk about a conspiracy, a confederacy. Do people conspire together to participate in malicious events? Absolutely. And if you think otherwise, you lying to yourself. Because if you put a group of people in power who are destined, when I'm talking about destined, in their mind, they set in their mind that they will do anything to maintain that power, then you have to accept the fact that they will lie to you. And that they will do all type of things in order to maintain that power. Yeah, definitely. Definitely him being a pastor is not far-fetched for him to be a Mason, especially him going through seminary school. It's quite common. That's just it's a common occurrence. You know what I'm saying? Some things you just have to accept, man. It just is what it is. I just say always be careful about that quote-unquote conspiracy theory stuff, especially if you deal with the word, because if you throw stuff out there that you can't really substantiate, it'll damage your credibility. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna take you credible when you go to talking about Yahuwah because you just throwing stuff out there. You know what I'm saying? And I say that because we live in a time where people just watch YouTube videos versus actually researching this stuff to put 2 and 2 together. And people think they know something because you watch the YouTube video. And that's just laziness. You know what I'm saying? It's really just, these are just talking points and cannon fodder, not something that you actually investigated. I say that because as a child, I investigated John F. Kennedy's death as comprehensively as I possibly could because I was intrigued by it. Started about age 14 to this very day. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man, the story never sat right with me. You know what I'm saying? But that's just absolutely never underestimate how far people will go to obtain and stay in power because they will go extremely far. Yeah. I mean, some things people just be lazy with it. But are there conspiracies? Sure there are. Absolutely. There's no denying that. Leviticus 25 and 6. What you got going on, son? Huh? Okay. And the Shabbat of the land shall be meat for you, and for your servant, and for your maid, and for your hired servant, for your stranger that sojourn with you, and for your cattle, and for your beasts that are in your land. They shall all increase thereof be meat. You shall number 7 Shabbats of years unto you. 7 times 7 years, in the space of 7 Shabbat of years shall be unto you 49 years. And you shall cause the trumpet of Jubilee to sound on the 10th of the 7th month and the day of atonement, and you shall make the trumpet sound throughout all your land. Now, the reason why we mentioning that, because of course you can see Jubilee is the year of release. That's when all debts are rescinded. I think we talked about this not too long ago. I give you this word for Jubilee one more time. Don't pay Maul no mind. He's feeling good right now. I give you liberty first. When you're looking at liberty, that is De'ore, that is Dalit, that is Rosh, that is U, that is Rosh. That is literally liberty, flowing, a free run. Liberty, pure, outflow. Now, of course, you know the Jubilee lines up with 50 years the same way Pentecost line up with 50 days. When you look at Jubilee, it is Yobal. Yod, U, Baal, Lamar. Ram, ram's horn, trumpet, cornet, trumpet, jubilee year, marked by the blowing of the cornets. Now you see that takes you back to what? Trumpets. You know what I'm saying? Because you blowing this trumpet as a sign of what? Of freedom. This is why you turn back around. Let me do it like this. Come over here to the outside. Let me do it like this. Come over here to John chapter 19. Let me do it like this. Come over to John 19:28. After that, Isaiah 58:1. Some things are rehashed, things we didn't already talk about. You get it from a different perspective. After this, this is John 19:28. After this, Yahushua, knowing that all things were now accomplished, that the scripture might be fulfilled, saith, I thirst. Now there was a set vessel full of vinegar. They filled the sponge with vinegar, put it upon the hyssop, put it on his mouth. And when Yahushua therefore had received the vinegar, he said, it is finished. He bowed his head. He gave up the ghost. Now, why is that important? Do we want to look at it in a few other places? Sure, why not? It ain't going to hurt nothing. Come over here to Matthew chapter 27.
Yeah.
50, 27, and 50. Right? Yahushua, when he cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ruach. So I'm just mentioning that where it says loud voice here. When you see him say he finished, he said this with a loud voice. Let's go to Mark 15. Now I'm taking all this time to do this for a reason. So bear with me, please. I need to make sure any of these is relevant. Let's go and add this here. I'm going to add a couple more verses on here. 15 and 37 going to say the same thing that we just read in Matthew. And Yahushua cried with a loud voice and gave up the ruach. And the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom. And when the centurion which stood over against them saw that he so cried out and gave up the ruach, he said, truly, this man was the son of Elohim. Let's take a look over here at Luke.
It's red. It's purple. Purple? That's mine.
That's yours?
Yeah.
What is it, Luke 22?
It's Hershey.
Relax, Martin. Relax. You outside your pay grade.
Okay.
Go sit down.
Go get her head.
Luke 23, verse 44. And it was about the 6th hour, and there was darkness all over the earth until the 9th hour. And the sun was darkened, and the veil of the temple was rent in the midst. And Yahushua cried with a loud voice, and he said, Abba, into your hands I commend my ruach. Having thus said, he gave up the ruach. Now, I'm going to ask this question. It's a simple question. Into your hands I commend my spirit. What Psalms is referring to that? What does that come from? It comes from Psalms. Who can tell me what Psalms? Who can tell me what Psalm that passage comes from that he said this in? Now we went through all three of these things. All Matthew, Mark, and Luke let you know that he cried with a loud voice. He said it was finished. Into your hands I commend my spirit. Psalms 31, because we ain't got time to wait all night for everybody. Or you can't necessarily get to your phone. There you go, say it in a timely fashion. Let's look at verse 1. Psalms 31 and 1. Then after that, we'll go to Isaiah 58 and 1. He said, in you, O Yahuwah, do I put my trust. Let me never be ashamed. Deliver me in your righteousness. This is what you see him doing. When you look at deliver me in your righteousness, that should take you back to what we read in 1 Peter chapter 2, probably about verse 21, that you commit yourself to him who judges righteously when people are threatening you so you don't threaten back, when people revile you and you don't revile back, that when you suffer, you take it patiently because you actually put your trust in him who you trust in. See, when you allow him, when you say to deliver me in your righteousness, the man ain't talking about he can't deliver you through no law. The law can't deliver you. It's not possible. It's never made to. Yahuwah is the deliverer. For some reason, I don't understand why. A lot of people just don't understand that Yahuwah is your savior, not some instructions. The instructions are simply that, instructions. Bow down your ear to me, deliver me speedily, for you be you my strong rock for a house of defense to save me. For you are my rock, my fortress, therefore for your name's sake, lead and guide me. Pull me out of the net that they have laid privily for me, for you are my strength. Now, of course, if you remember in John 15, he told you that those that hate me, they hate me without a cause. And that these men, and I think we were talking about, what were we talking about? Yeah, we were talking about that last week. When you look at Judas, when he hung himself, that he went and conspired with these men because they laid a net for him. But he knew they laid this net for him, and this is why he say, into your hand I commit my ruach. You have redeemed me, O Yahuwah Elohim of truth. Now see, that redeemed part is what you don't hear in Luke 23. Now, when you look at it, into your hands, I commend my ruach. What does it mean for him to commit? Of course, this is pakad, pay, kuf, dalit. That is to seek, to be needed, to be visited upon, to be appointed, to be watched over, to set over, to make an overseer, to be entrusted, to visit, to seek in vain, to seek, to pay attention, observe, to attend to, to muster. But of course, in this instance, it's going to be to commit, to entrust, to commit for care. Notice that he said to commit for care. You notice what this should take you to? Let's take a look at it. It's 1 Peter chapter 5. Something that everybody has to remember at all times. This is the lesson with the Lord showing you and many other people. But we just going to focus on Yahushua for this moment. Before to see a pattern of behavior of what he has done. 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of Elohim, that he may exalt you in due time. This is the purpose of what you're looking at when you're afflicting your soul. Isaiah 58 is going to go to this. But you see Yahushua literally afflicting his soul. Just a case in point, and we'll come back and look at it because I can reference it now. This is part of the reason why you see him declining the vinegar. And it's not vinegar as far as vinegar is concerned. It's sour wine. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why you turn around and he eat that last meal, because he's about to fast, if you would. He's about to have his soul afflicted. And in the midst of this soul affliction is where it ties into the Jubilee, you know what I'm talking about? Which is the year of release. And what are you being released from? Oh, this just means he gave up the breath. So come over here to Ecclesiastes 9:1 real fast, 10K. 10K asks, what does it mean? That's a whole nother conversation right there, Brother Herman. I'll knock that out for you too. Brother 10K asks, what does it mean to give up the ghost? So let's take a look at that for those who may not be aware. I said chapter 9, it's chapter 12, I'm sorry. 12 and 7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the Ruach shall return unto Elohim who gave it. So when you look at giving up the ghost, remember as it tell you in, what is it called? Man, what is it called? Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, that he breathed into Adam and he became a living soul. So that literal breath that animates you. See, there's two things you can't live without. You can't live without oxygen and you can't live without the blood. And see, here's the crazy thing. If you go without oxygen too long, you know what I'm saying? Your organs shut down. Why? Because your blood can't operate without the oxygen. So they go hand in hand. So when you look at flesh and blood can't inherit the kingdom, you pour out the blood to be filled with the Ruach. But this time, not the Ruach that make you a living soul, but the Ruach that's a life-giving spirit that give eternal life, that you can be able to lift your right hand unto heaven and swear that you live forever, as Yahuwah did in Deuteronomy. He's going to allow you to become just like him, if you will. Hey. Don't come over here. Don't come over here with that. So I was in 1 Peter 5. I lost my page. I'm sorry. I flipped it right off there for absolutely no reason whatsoever. So 1 Peter 5 and 6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of Elohim, that he may exalt you in due time. So when you see that he gave Yahushua a name that be exalted above all names, because he humbled himself, even unto the death of the state, casting all your care upon him, for he cared for you. See, a lot of individuals don't really look at what does that mean. Casting all your care upon him because he cares for you. Well, what does care mean here? And this might take us back to something that we reference when it needs to be referenced. When you look at care here in the Greek, it is miramana, care, anxiety. Can anybody tell me what passage in the Old Testament refers to the removal of anxiety? Because he say casting all your anxieties upon him because he cared for you. What is anxiety? That is worries. Remember what the Lord told you in Matthew, take no thought for your life. You know what I'm talking about? And it was referring to anxieties. Even when you look at, when they say in the parable of the sower, when he say the cares and affairs of this life choke off the word, it's the anxieties, the anxiousness, if you would. Let's take a look at some of them passages before I share with you the passage in the Old Testament that's referring to, that anybody may not remember. What's the first thing I didn't mention? No. I'm talking about that. Matthew chapter what? That's 5. Or was it 6? Come over here to Matthew 6 and 25. Oh, and then it's Matthew 13. I'm going to pull them verses y'all mentioned in a second. Hold on. Therefore, this is Matthew 6 and 25. Therefore, I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what you shall eat, what you shall drink, nor yet for your body, for what you shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body more than raiment? Now, when he tell you to take no thought for your life, that particular word is mirmano. This is the first one, the mirmana, was the shortened version. This is the lengthened version. This is to be anxious, to be troubled with cares, to care for, to look out for a thing, to seek and promote one interest. But more importantly, is to be anxious in the context of what this particular passage is referring to. Behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not. This is verse 26, Matthew chapter 6. Neither do they reap, neither gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feed them. Are you not much better than they? Which of you taking one thought can add 1 cubit unto his stature? And why take you thought for raiment? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow, they toil not, neither do they spin. And yet I say unto you that even Solomon in all his esteem was not arrayed like one of these. Wherefore, if Elohim so clothe the grass of the field, which today is and tomorrow is cast into the oven, shall he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? Therefore take no thought, saying what we shall eat or what we shall drink, or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For all these things do the Gentiles seek. For your Abba and Shamahim know that you have need of all these things. But seek you first the Malkuth for Elohim in his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. What takes us back when he said, deliver me into your... See, I'm mentioning all these things because when you look at what Mashiach did, he took no thought for his life. He did not allow any of the cares and anxieties of the affliction that he was suffering dictate his faith or his obedience to what this man had promised him. Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Now, I know a lot of people don't talk about these things, so they throw them out there just like randomly. To develop this type of thing to remove anxiety, you actually have to trust. Number one, you need to know who Yahuwah is. This is why we always reference Exodus 34. Yahuwah Elohim, merciful, gracious, long-suffering, abundant in goodness and truth, showing mercy unto thousands, forgiving sin, iniquity, and transgression. This allows you to know what manner of man he is and how he operates, what his character is encompassed with. Then he tell you in another place that we reference all the time that he is not a man that he should lie, nor is he the son of man that he should repent. If he said it, then he gonna do it. Now the writer of Hebrews lets you know that there was two immutable things, that it is impossible for this man to lie. You know what I'm talking about? So when you take all these things into account, and then he say he knoweth your frame, but you are but dust, and he have compassion on you like a man have pity on his own children. You know what I'm talking about? This means that this man already knows what you have need of. He gonna care for you. You can cast them anxieties on him because he has a care and concern for your well-being. I understand in the natural sense that it's very difficult for people to do because you're dealing with natural people who may not have a care and concern for your well-being. But you cannot compare Yahuwah to natural men. Natural people will fail you. Yahuwah will never fail you. This man told you that there no one who trusts in him shall be ashamed. So when you turn around and you look at what Yahushua did in the midst of affliction, which is the humbling of yourself, he's being afflicted. That's why he said, into your hands I commend my spirit. I trust my breath or my life with you. He had no care and anxiety or worries about any of the things that he had encountered because he knew that his flesh would rest in hope because he would not suffer his Kadash one to see corruption because that's what he promised him. See, the difference why when you, especially with a lot of man, when we deal with, especially on the Israelite side of things, they don't really engender a level of information for you to really trust in what your God has told you. They really want you to trust in the fact you are Israelite. He gonna say the Israelite, but you don't really trust God though, because you don't know him. You know what I'm saying? Now on the Christian side of things, they'll tell you to trust God, but in the same token, you don't know him because they ain't really telling you about him. They're telling you about the parts of him that they want you to think are endearing, that's going to benefit to your own personal lust, if you would. Come over here to Matthew chapter 13. You know, Yahuwah is not. If you're an actual parent. When I say actual parent, not that you have produced children and you have maintained them. I'm talking about an actual parent. You will know and understand, though you may be concerned with the desires of your offspring are not your motivating factor, especially if it is not congruent with what the vision that you have for your household or the standard that you have for your household. See, we get told in America that praise you word, that for children we should just give them whatever they want or whatever we didn't have or this, that, there, and the third. No. Your job is to prepare them for adulthood. That's your number one job and duty. Child want a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Children want ice cream. You gonna give them ice cream every day because they want it? Children want candy. Children will sit up all night. Children will do a lot of things. You gonna yield to their will just because they're your child? That's asinine. That's absolutely and utterly ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But you still have to. You see, most, especially with black folks, you know what I'm saying? Because it seems like that, you know, a lot of our people don't really know how to do that or care to do it, if you would. But there has to be an environment where your children trust in you. See, you don't want your children to be scared of you. You want them to have respect for you. I told you this before. If you're one of them people, man, and you just gonna cuss your kids out and do, when they face some type of tribulation, any type of thing, they're not gonna come holler at you because they're gonna be more concerned with you coming at them with vengeance versus you coming at them with some wisdom and understanding to help them navigate something that they may not be mentally, spiritually, emotionally capable of dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And that come from just because they do something that's displeasing. That don't mean you supposed to cuss them out. That don't mean you supposed to yell at them. That don't mean you supposed to bust them upside their head. What do you expect from a child who is learning life as they're living it? They're going to make bad decisions. They're going to make mistakes. This is why this man said, hey, man, I know you're framed, but you but dust. It comes down to actually partaking in what discipline is, and that's properly instructing them in the way that they ought to go, even when they make an error. So when they get to a certain point in life and they face with difficult situations, they'll say, man, let me go holler at my daddy, man. He'll know what to do. Let me go holler at Mom Dukes because they won't have the fear that you're going to knock their head off their shoulders. You know what I'm saying? People are always talking about, man, you can't stop them kids from hunting. If you create the proper environment that any anxieties or worries that they can cast them cares upon you, they won't go out here and do nothing stupid because they're going to come holler at you. This is why people don't holler at Yahuwah before they get to go do something, because we've made this thought process that this man just gonna knock your head off your shoulders. So you don't go holler at him first. So you go out here and wing it, and you pull a rare bone, and you go holler at your friends who's stupid and get bad advice. So you just talking about that with your mom. I told her it was for our benefit. We didn't get everything we wanted and got told them. Absolutely. You can't give a child everything that they want, because you'll destroy yourself. The child will destroy themselves. You don't realize if Yahuwah gave everybody in here what they wanted, most of y'all probably been dead a long time ago. And I ain't talking about physically dead either. You know what I'm talking about? This is part of the reason why he say that when he turn you reprobate, he give you over to your desires and see what your end gonna be. Since this is what you want so bad, he'll take it. You know what I'm saying? That ain't what you want. You don't always want what you desire. What you desire sometimes ain't the best thing for you, man. You know what I'm talking about? What you desire sometimes. Look here, kids desire candy. They got a mouthful of candy. It was pleasurable while you were eating it. Now your mouth hurts. Your gums bleeding. Your breath stank. You know what I'm talking about? You shouldn't have ate all them Snicker bars. Should have left them Butterfingers alone. Or no teeth. I'm talking about gummy. You know how tough that is to be in your 20s, in your teens with no teeth. You around here looking like you smoke bass, man. Really, you ain't take care of your mouth. And all jokes aside, man, you know, bad oral health is the sign of bad cardiovascular health. But you know, people don't like talk about that, man. When you got bad teeth, man, that's a strong sign your heart might be bad, man. Leave that alone, man. Come on over here to Matthew 13. Because somebody's like, I don't care. I want what I want. And that's fine. That's why in Proverbs 30, he said, give me food convenient for me. Don't give me riches, lest I forget Yahuwah. And don't give me poverty, lest I steal and take the name of my God in vain. You know what I'm saying? You don't need it. You don't want everything you want sometimes, man. I'm telling you. It's a dangerous place to be. What it is, 13 and 30 and 22? Matthew 13 and 22. He that also receives seed among the thorns is he that hear the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke off the word, and he become unfruitful. We still holding Isaiah 58, by the way. Now, when you look at care of this world, again, that's miramanah. That's care. That's anxiety. The cares and the worries of this world. He said, how do you discern between what you need and what you want? What you want usually is something that you find extremely more pleasurable. See, something you need is something that you must have in order to maintain survival. Like you need shelter, you need clothes, you need food. You know what I'm saying? So the difference is you need clothes, but a lot of people get upset if it's not the clothes they want. You know what I'm talking about? Because you want this brand of clothes. That's what you want. That ain't what you need. You know what I'm saying? Just in case of a simple point, do you have to wear Jordans? You don't need Jordans. You want Jordans. You need shoes. You know what I'm talking about? Now, of course, you may like Jordans, but then you have to ask yourself, do you like Jordans because you like them, or that you were socially engineered to desire these shoes based on marketing tactics and the thought process of your peers? You know what I'm saying? And I only mention like I just seen a video when Conceited were going off with people for wearing fake shoes, saying you can't be a part of sneaker culture and all this other type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's the fact that people ridicule people for buying fake shoes. Who gives a damn? That is a part of social engineering where individuals think that they're on an upper tier because they spent X amount of dollars for a pair of shoes. You know what I'm saying? Because those shoes are a status symbol. You know what I'm talking about? And I tell you this before, there's nothing wrong if there's certain things that you desire. The question is you have to ask yourself, why do you desire them? Definitely, that sneakerhead stuff is maybe because it's the internet, you know what I'm saying, Nola? Why it's out there like that? Because I know people always did it, but I ain't never know it was like that junk bad. You know what I'm saying? But it's a status symbol in a particular community. It's no different in the fragrance community. You know what I'm saying? Like I wear fragrances. Do you need a fragrance? No, you don't. That's something you want. You know what I'm saying? And if you're able to do that, then that's your business. You know, there ain't no knock on, but it's people who look down on people if you buy designer fragrances. And you got people who look down on people If they buy clones, you know what I'm saying? Some people buy a clone. This is because it came to mind. Baccarat Rouge 540. Because the bottle itself costs $450. And everybody don't want to spend $450, but they want to sell as close to that as possible because they like it. And here's this one. It costs $20. So I'm going to buy that. You know what I'm saying? Then you have some people who just, well, hey, I would prefer to have the real one. I'll just save my money until I can buy that. Oh, I can tell you some dupes on that. You can see. Shoot, I got one in here now. Shoot, next time you come down here, you remind me, I'll get it to you. Yeah, I got a dupe. I didn't know it was a dupe of Baccarat Rouge 540 when I bought it. But I don't wear it that often. The next time you come down here, just remind me, I get it. But yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? It's not, but you got people, they snobs. Because all these things are status symbols. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you talking about the founder of Bathing Ape admitted he sold fake? Yeah, you know, because, you know, they duck getting sued because, you know, Bapesters ain't nothing but Air Force Ones on a different shoe trains. You know what I'm saying? Like all this stuff, man, you got to ask yourself the things that you like, why do you like them? Do you like them because you genuinely like them? Or do you like them because you were socially pressured, if you would? Social drugs, as Lauryn Hill put it in the record at one time, to like these things. You know what I'm saying? This is a question everybody got to ask themselves. You say you want internet, but you need interaction. Nowadays, people would rather send a text than go knock on the door. And that's a factual. Say Child Johnson, that's the hottest, living in the Bengal Stadium, had fake jewelry on, all that stuff. And he told people he had fake jewelry on. He didn't care. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you have to, all of these things, we have to consider that. You know what I'm saying? Because you may like what you like. Like I didn't tell you right, I got a football jersey on right now. You know why I wear them? Because my mama bought me a football jersey in 1987. It was actually a Halloween costume. It was a Doug Williams jersey, to be specific. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the whole play. And that's where my liking of wearing football jerseys came from. It's something that my mama bought me. I didn't see people wearing those at that particular time. You know what I'm saying? But that's where it came from. Straight like that. You know what I'm saying? And some things you like can come from that. You know what I'm saying? It could be something that your parents did for you. It could be something that your daddy might have been doing. It could have been anything. And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. For sure. You know what I'm saying? But straight them down. That's why I got that photograph somewhere here. I think it's on my Facebook page. I know it's on my Facebook page, guaranteed, with me with that jersey on. You know what I'm saying? And that's what started me wearing it, because my mama bought me that. You know what I'm saying? I watched professional wrestling because I watched it with my granddaddy. You know what I'm saying? That's what my liking from that. See, if it comes from something that you did with your people, that's one thing. If it's an influence that comes from your peers, do you really like that? Or do you do that because you want acceptance from your peers? You understand what I'm saying? But let's look at this verse that we're referring to about where anxiety, as we were discussing. Jeremiah 17:7. Y'all will remember it when we read it. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Some people like car brands because that's what your people drove. You know what I'm saying? You got some people, of course, they don't make these no more. Some people like, hey, my daddy drove a Lincoln Town car, so I want a Lincoln Town car. You know what I'm saying? I told you before, I wanted to grow a beard because my daddy and my granddaddy had one. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a child, looking at them, I was like, when I got old enough, I want to grow one because they got one. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. I tried when I was 22. It didn't work. I wasn't able to grow a beard till I was about 27 to 28 years old. Jeremiah 17:7. Blessed is the man that trusts in Yahuwah, and whose hope Yahuwah is. For he shall be as a tree planted by the waters, that spread out her roots by the river, and shall not see when heat come. But her leaf shall be green, and shall not be careful in the year of drought, neither shall cease from yielding fruit. If y'all remember, it's that not careful. And that's meaning you will not have anxieties. You won't have any worries, cares, or concerns. Let me get that word careful for you again, because I did not save that in my memory. That is Da'ag, Dalit, Aleph, Gamal. To fear, to be anxious, to be concerned, to be afraid, to be careful, to be anxious. Now you can see why the Lord told you don't take no thought for your life, because Jeremiah already told you that. That's why he say, blessed is the man who trusts in Yahuwah, whose expectation Yahuwah is. When you do that, you won't have any cares or concerns, but individuals don't give us the information to where we can really have that level of trust in Yahuwah. It is imperative. That word there is miktah, trust, confidence, refuge, object of confidence, security, state of confidence. We have to have a level of confidence of who this man is and what he said he'll do and who he says he is. But nobody talks to us about that. And this is why when individuals face real life situations, they walk away from the word or they fall into a pattern of carnal enjoyment, if you would. Because they don't have anything to rely on. Nobody's ever taught us how to make this man our object of confidence. The books say that his name is a strong tower, and everybody who run into it is safe. We hear people on the internet talk all the time that a man needs to be a woman's safe place. This woman needs to be this man's safe place. When Yahuwah is supposed to be your safe place. We don't even realize that individuals are teaching you to trust in man more than God. Am I saying that you can't be your other half? Shalom, my heart, man. Safe place? No, that's not what I'm saying. But if you're looking for this man or woman to be your safe place, before you look for God to be your safe place, you're going to always have problems. You know what I'm saying? You're going to always have problems. Always. You know what I'm saying? Always. Because they can't be that. You know what I'm saying? See, Psalm 62, let me just read Psalm 62 to you. And I'm mentioning all this because when you look at what Mashiach went through, when he was suffering, he casted his cares, his worries, his anxieties on his father because he knew his father cared for him. So he knew what he promised him. He knew what he said he would do. He believed him because he was confident that his father would deliver on what it is that he said he would do. I'm going to get them verses too. I know you put Proverbs 27:1. There's some other stuff. I done missed the ones you had on there. I have to scroll back up. Now I forgot that. Hold on. Indeed, don't rely on your own understanding. What I said. Golly, I hate when that happens. What I just read. In fact. Dang, I done forgot. But I know what on my put Proverbs 27:1. I don't think that was what we was angling towards. I done read what we was actually going to read. So let me just get over there while I try to recall you who are willing what I was going to go grab. Yeah, see now, boast yourself not in tomorrow is a different conversation. Yeah, Isaiah 51 is coming, but it was something else in my brain. I said it out loud. Now I done forgot. All right. Yeah, that's something else. I can't remember. Just come over here to yeah, because that's see, the boast not on tomorrow is none of us know what's going to happen tomorrow. So he tell you not to do all that. And James goes into that a little further when he said, if you're going to do this, say, Lord will. Let's just grab that real fast. James 5. Yeah, James 4. Yeah, that's what James go into that in more detail of what's in Proverbs. I know we're supposed to be dealing with them contradictions too, but I'm not going to deal with one of them today. James chapter 4, verse 11. Because when he's telling you to do that, that's false confidence. Because that's you trusting in yourself and not trusting in God. You know what I'm saying? And I know some people don't like to hear that. And it comes into, you have to be careful when you're dealing with people who don't really trust in God like that. Because they'll try to overthrow your faith because they don't have none. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be careful with that. Now, of course, I'm a different type of individual. You know, I be in spaces and have been for years where people argue about the Bible day in and day out, week in and week out, month in and month out, year in and year out. That stuff don't affect me because I'm already locked in on what it is that I believe. Praise the Lord, that's what it was. I'm talking about, letting Yahuwah be your safe place and being built on that, right? Book of Deuteronomy tell you that Yahuwah is your rock. And then the Lord told you need to build your house upon this rock. He that hearkened to my words, I liken to a man who built his house on the rock. So when the storms come and the wind blow, his house won't be built over because it's built on the rock. You know what I'm saying? Your house has to be built on your confidence in your God. Not confidence in your flesh, not confidence in this. If your confidence is not in that Yahuwah is who he says he is, he will do what he said he will do. What he has promised he will surely bring to pass, then you'll be good. That don't mean that life won't be difficult, because life will be difficult. Some things you'll experience just for the testing of your faith. We read it last week. The trial of your faith is more precious than gold. Don't think some strange happen to you that you go through diverse temptations. And he also told you, amen, when you go through diverse temptations and afflictions, amen, it's so that you can be complete and perfect and wanting nothing. And we read it, hope bring experience, bring experience, and experience hope. And hope make not ashamed. He said, example, when people say stock up on food, nothing wrong with that per se, but remember. Yeah, I mean, let me tell you something, right? I never tell nobody not to stock up on no food. But I can tell you this here. You can stock up all the food you want. You can stock up all the weapons you want. And Yahuwah could put you in a place where you couldn't access any of those things just so you'd have to rely on him. And you know how many dudes would probably reject that man if they were faced with that situation? That don't mean that you shouldn't prepare. But your preparation means nothing because you don't know what's going to happen because you ain't in control of none of that. See, we like to believe that we're in control of all these things, yet say you trust God at the same time. That's not how that works. The only thing that you can control, your obedience to God. That's all you can control. You can't control outside stimuli. You can't control what the United States government do. You can't control what these world governments do. Shoot, you can't control what the nigga sleeping next to you gonna do. You can't control what your children gonna do. The only thing you can control is what you do and how you respond and react to outside stimuli. That's it. Does that mean not prepare? Absolutely not. You do what you deem necessary, but just know whether you had a stockpile of food or whether you didn't. He said, I ain't never seen the righteous forsaken and begging for bread. So if you believe the man, you think this man gonna leave you around here starving and hungry, and you serve this man a ruach and the truth. If you believe that, you don't trust God. You ought to go to hell for being alive. Because if this man said, I ain't never seen the righteous forsaken and begging for bread, and this man say those who serve him with a perfect heart and willing mind, he will never forsake. And then the book tell you if a man don't care for his own, especially those of his own household, he's an infidel and denied the faith. You think he ain't gonna care for you? If you are a son or daughter of God, you of his household. So you don't think he gonna feed you? Why you think the man told you don't take no thought for your life? You my children. You're my sons and daughters. I'm not gonna let you starve. Only a wicked nigga would do that. I just heard a big old squarehead jackass. This woman asked, why do men leave their kids and go deal with this? The craziest stuff in the world to me. I always believed this before I was in the word. How you gonna have some children, don't take care of them children, get with a woman who got some children and take care of another man's children, and you don't take care of yours? That is insane to me. You ain't gonna take care of your own kids, you gonna take care of somebody else's? Nigga, that is insane. Then as a woman, why would you even open your leg? Why would you even find desirable a man you know don't take care of his kids? You know what I'm saying? Now, I know niggas be telling lies sometimes. She don't let me deal with my kid. Man, you know this nigga don't go see his kids, man. Shalom, Brother Ernest. Don't do nothing for them kids. Why you having sex with this man? Why is you talking to this man? You shouldn't be in it. Once you caught with, oh, nigga, you don't take care of your kids? You can, if you have the ability to judge body language and you look people in the eyes when they telling you stuff, you'll know if this nigga lying to you about why he don't take care of kids. You know what I'm saying? Because I know at least on the internet, people are like, y'all men, we need to straighten them about dudes who don't take care of their kids. Me personally, we ain't never hung with nobody who ain't take care of their kids. You know what I'm saying? Ever. You know what I'm saying, man? I done said that before. Like, no, man, one thing, man, you got to get out your feelings and you got to look people in the eyes, man. When they telling you stuff, you know if this nigga lying or not. A lot of times y'all be wanting people to be lying because you don't want to deal with the truth because you like this nigga so much that he don't take care of kids. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's very rare. I ain't gonna say it's rare. You don't hear about it because you don't come across it as often. Like, if I done ran across a few women in my day, I wasn't trying to holler at them like they ain't had their kids. Well, that's a pause, especially a woman. You ain't got your kids. Why you ain't got your kids? Oh, look here, man. I couldn't do it. I couldn't deal with nobody. I'm talking about if I was a woman, it wouldn't make no difference. You ain't got your kids, bro. You don't never. I'm talking about one of the key components. You know, a nigga don't really take care of their kid. He don't even mention them. He don't talk about them. He don't reference them. Ain't no evidence that he even got kids. You gotta leave that nigga in the trash can because that's what he deserves. But to get to the point, this nigga was saying a woman should know. That's right. Appreciate your brother, Mike, man. Praise you. It was Psalm 62. That's where we were going. Look at the Lord. I appreciate you. After I read this James 4, we're going to go to Psalm 62. He was saying that a woman should know that when you break up with the man, he breaking up with the kids too. You know what I'm talking about? I said, this nigga, he got to be the dumbest nigga in the world. So you ain't with the woman no more? You ain't going to take care of your kids, cuz? What you mean you break up with the kid? Boy, that's your seed. Man, somebody supposed to find Buddy and hit him with a baseball bat. And the word part was he was saying it like he was saying some real in-depth, you know what I'm saying, about stuff like, as a woman, you should understand that. Man, I ain't got to be with that woman to take care of my children, man. I remember when I was 19, man, the girl I was fooling with, she said she thought she was pregnant. I don't even think she went and got a pregnancy test. And she went to talking stupid. And the first thing I told her, if you going to act like that, man, you go ahead and let me get my jet. I ain't never got to fool with you again in life. You know what I'm talking about? I think she was thrilled by that I told her that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you ain't, but we ain't got to go through all that. You can have the baby and give me my baby. I'll take care of him. You know what I'm talking about? Like straight like that. I will take care of this child. I have handled the baby before. I've changed diapers, made bottles. I ain't got no problem with none of that. That's my child. You know what I'm saying? You can let me get my baby, man. I ain't got no problem with that. Like that ain't even no thought. You know what I'm saying? That's why I ain't never had no kids, man, before I got married, man, because I'm not going through that because I'm a different type of individual. I would have went to court for custody about mine, whether we was on good or bad terms or not. Because I don't even want to risk the chance. You know what I'm talking about? And that's why I didn't have no children with a woman who I wouldn't be married to. That's why I didn't. If I felt like I wouldn't want to make this woman a wife, I wasn't even going to have sex with her because I wasn't going to risk the chance. You know what I'm talking about? Because if I have a baby from a woman who I don't want to be fooled up with, I'm going to make my life more difficult and miserable. And for what? Some moments of pleasure, it's not that serious. You know what I'm saying? It's not that serious. You say, maybe I heard that. He said, I thought dating was for people who had. No, I mean, people gonna fool with who they fool with. You know what I'm saying? That's none of my business. The only thing you can talk to people about is if you're in a situation, male or female, and this person has children, depending on the age of the children, you have to ask yourself, do you have the mental and emotional capabilities of having an interaction with someone who has children? And you have to ask yourself, can you deal with that and everything that comes with that? And if that's something you want to fool with, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to tell you what to do or what not to do. I'll tell you what I would or wouldn't do based off the scenario given. It's not my job to tell you what to do. It's my job to sit. See, this is what, and I learned this a long time ago. When you're talking to people, you sit down with them. Whatever the scenario is that they're asking your counsel about, you give them the pros, you give them the cons, and they have to make that decision for themselves. That's all you can do. You weigh the pros and the cons with the individual. You chart that out. You're a grown man or woman. Most people are looking for you to tell them what to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to tell you what to do. You know why? Because if it don't work, guess who you gonna blame? Me. I ain't going for that. We're going to weigh the pros and the cons. We're going to give you all the applicable information, and you're going to make a decision based off the information in front of you because you grown. You got to make the decisions for your own life because you have to live with the outcome. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to live with the outcome. See, most people just like to throw stuff out there knowing that they don't have to live with the outcome. That's why they don't care what they tell people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got to carry that yourself. But if you're gonna sit down and give people counsel, man, on certain things, man, well, let's talk about the pros. Let's talk about the cons. Okay, you got all that information. Take that in, digest that. You know what I'm saying? Cycle it through your mind, make a decision. That's all you can do. It's not that hard. You know what I'm saying? But just randomly telling people this is what you should do. No, I'll tell you what I would do. I can't tell you what to do. You grown. You tell children what to do. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell grown people what to do. I didn't know for me, I wasn't having children with a woman who I wouldn't marry. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't doing it. Absolutely wasn't doing it. And that's why I didn't have children until I got married, because I'm not doing it. Because if I'd have never got married, I'd have never had children. Simple as that. It's not that serious. As much as I may have wanted a son, I ain't want a son bad enough to put myself in a possible negative situation just to be able to say I have a son, and now he has to suffer from this negative situation that I crafted out of my selfishness. I wasn't going to do it. You know what I'm saying? See, you went through a tough time with current partner, made the statement, this can't happen again. And it hasn't happened since. Oh, I heard that, man. Let me get this out of here, crank this up, man. Wait a minute, James 4:11, I'm sorry. Speak not evil of one another, brethren. He that speak evil of his brother, judge his brother, and speak evil of the law. Judge the law. But if you judge the law, you're not a doer of the law, but a judge. There's one lawgiver who is able to save and to destroy. Who are you that judge another? Go to now, you that say today or tomorrow we will go in such and such city and continue there a year and buy and sell and get gain. Whereas you know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is a vapor that appear for a little time and then vanish away. For you ought to say, if the Lord will, we shall live and do this or that. But now rejoice in your boastings. All such rejoicing is evil. Therefore, to him that to do good and do it not, to him that is sin. So, nevertheless, Psalm 62, because that's what I want. Psalm 62, he about to tell you something. This is what I'm telling you about. Hey, man, it's all good for you. If you want your wife or your husband to be your safe place, that has to be 62-1 is fine. It has to be a certain level of measure when it comes to that. I know people don't like to hear that because we live in this fantasy romantic type stuff that they throwing out here, but we talking about people who say they seeking to serve God, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what people in the world got going on in their thought process. That ain't got nothing to do with me. But those who say that they are in the household of God, there's certain mentality that you have to have. And Yahuwah must be your safe place first and foremost, male or female, woman or man, son or daughter, husband or wife. There's no exception for that. None. You know what I'm talking about? Psalm 62:1. Truly my soul wait upon Elohim. From him come my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be greatly moved. Notice David said he's my only rock, which is what Deuteronomy 32 say. Yahuwah is the rock. See, it's difficult. Now, of course, in a natural sense, as a woman, a woman gonna want to be able to know that her husband is stable mentally, spiritually, and emotionally so that she can rely on him. You know what I'm saying? As a man, you can't be all over the place because, yes, in a natural sense of things, your family wants to rely on you. They want to be able to trust that you have the ability to navigate whatever may come about in life. Period, point blank. That's just what it is. Don't cry about it. Don't whine about it. Nigga, just be a man about it. And if you don't want to be a man about that, then you don't need a wife. You most definitely don't need to have any children. You need to get yourself together mentally and spiritually before you take on such an endeavor. You know what I'm saying? Because, yes, your family will want to rely on you. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you would need to understand how women emotions work so you have the skillfulness to be able to deal with that and not just get frustrated and throw your hands in the air. See, all that's a part of it, dwelling with your wife according to knowledge. Yahuwah will swing back around that corner because it's been a while since we went through that. And I can't remember what videos are talking about that. And I know Hurricane asked me to do that, and we just haven't had the opportunity to swing that round. But that's a part of that, though. Because the same way we mentioned in that Psalms 103, when he say he know your frame, but you are but dust, you would need to know a woman's frame when you get with one. So that you can have the level of comfort and care as you're supposed to have. Man, that just is what it is. She get an emotional state, you get angry, screaming and hollering. You don't need a wife, bro. You need to get your mind right. Because that's not a reflection of God's behavior. Get yourself together. Does that not mean that y'all may not have disagreements from time to time? Of course, you're a human being. You know what I'm saying? You might butt heads. Somebody might lose control. Somebody might get overly emotional at times. But the only thing I can tell you is what I told my wife the first day we walked through the door. In this house, we're going to lead with love, period. If you do that, and I've told most of y'all this before, if you love somebody, then it's not going to be about who's right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be about reconciling the matter. See, if you focused on who's going to be right or wrong, oh, you ain't never going to have no good relationship with nobody. You know what I'm talking about? And that usually means that you don't love them. You know what I'm saying? Because if you love somebody, it ain't going to be about who's right or wrong. It's going to be about the reconciliation. And you'll put the love above who's right and who's wrong to make sure that the matter is resolved so that the love don't go away. See, the book don't say love never fails for no reason. See, most people, you ain't really love this person, or this person didn't love you, or you may have not loved each other. You know what I'm saying? You just thought that's what that was. You know what I'm talking about? Like I told you, look, young girl I know who in the word, she had posted on threads about that. What's your love language? You know, I don't deal with that love language stuff. You know what I'm saying? Love somebody like God told you. If God's love is not your language, you don't love yourself anyway. You know what I'm talking about? But that's just me, you did. Because 1 Corinthians 13, man, that man told you what it was, man. If God's language, love language don't talk to you, human beings won't. It's just not. You know what I'm saying? So it just is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people say, yeah, my love language is acts of service because you want somebody to be your slave. Meaning you want them to worship you. You know what I'm saying? Mine is physical touch because you're horny. You know what I'm talking about? You're a freak. You know what I'm talking about? Some people like it's gift giving because you're selfish. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not, none of these things is what God said. He said love don't seek her own. Love, you know what I'm saying? Don't do this and don't do that. It's not puffed up. You know, all these type of things, man. Now that's Greek with agape. That's a whole nother conversation. And we'd have to revisit that. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you know, some people say my love language is quality time. Let me tell you something, man. And if a woman like you, she always gonna want to spend some time with you, man. If she don't want to spend time with you, it's because she don't like you. Man, you will not find any woman in the world who is genuinely attracted and likes a man and she don't want to be around. You know what I'm saying? Now, she may know that he got X, Y, Z, and she can't get all this time like that, but she gonna want to be around you. If that woman don't care about, she don't like you, cuz. She don't like you. And any woman will tell you that. Don't no woman want to be away from a dude she like. You know what I'm saying? She like to see him coming. She like to hear the sound of his voice. She like this, what he smell like, all that. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, if you with a woman, man, she don't want to touch you, man, she don't like you. That's what I'm saying. All that stuff now, because if a woman like, men will touch any woman who will let him. For the most part, most of these dudes ain't got no standard. Talking about his love language, physical touch. That nigga's a freak. He'll touch anybody. He'll let anybody touch him. He don't care. You know what I'm talking about? But if a woman like you, it take a lot of discipline in her for her to keep her hands off you if that's not the direction she's trying to go. Because she like you, man. You know what I'm saying? This woman can go out, she don't want to give you a hug, don't want to be nowhere, don't want to type. Woman don't like you, cuz. She don't care for you. There's no attraction there. You know what I'm saying? That's certain, so you got to pay attention to that. But nevertheless, man, most people ain't got no love in them, so they don't know what that means, man. You can bump heads, man. I ain't gonna never say you ain't gonna bump heads with your old lady, man. I ain't gonna never say you ain't gonna bump heads with your husband. It's not the fact if you bump heads, it's how y'all respond to it and deal with it. Because if you love him, you're like this here, man, I ain't tripping on that. See, I'm different. See, I don't be mad for a long period of time. You know what I'm saying? Peace, Yasha, man. That junk, man, nigga, man, that junk over with. Right then and there. You know what I'm talking about? Because it's not that serious, man. It's not that serious. You know what I'm talking about? The reason why I say it's not that serious, and I done told y'all this before. You walk around with all that extra stuff, man, and you see this nigga laying in the casket, and you gonna wish you wasn't walking around here with all that extra stupid stuff about nothing. You know what I'm saying? That you could have y'all could have just ironed that out. It's not that serious. Because if it was that serious, you'd have to cut them off. Most of the stuff that people but that stuff ain't that serious, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not that serious, bro. It's really not. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it just be your feelings hurt or your pride or ego bruised. It ain't really that serious. Most people is not doing nothing to you that's that serious. Because if it was that serious, you'd have to cut them off. You say, hallelujah, had a friend that didn't understand it. I wanted to be in the word and correct the friend for me. Yeah, man, look at man, shoot. Anybody who love you gonna respect what you got going on no matter what it is. Somebody love you, man, they not gonna want to pull you away from what it is that you're trying to accomplish. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was a business, whether it was a sport, whether it was going to school, no matter what it is, man, whether it's the word, if they love you and care about you, they don't want to be no stumbling block to your objectives. They ain't gonna want to do that. They're gonna make sure that you're in an environment that if we're all possible that you could thrive. That's when if people care about you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Most people, man, look at man, we didn't talk about this before. Most people don't got no love for nobody because they don't love themselves. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. You know what I'm talking about? Because when you got love with people, man, you don't fall out with everybody. You know what I'm saying? You can have disagreements, but you don't fall out with everybody because it's not that serious. You know what I'm saying? It's not that serious. Man, if a nigga's not just like outright disrespecting me, man, it's not that serious. And then you have to ask yourself, why you with a woman who would outright disrespect you? Why you with a man who would outright disrespect you? How did it get that far that you married? Nobody marries you and then starts disrespecting you. They were disrespecting you before you got married. You know what I'm saying? That woman was doing you like that before you got married. That man was doing you like that before you got married. You thought getting married was going to change that? No. But you know why you dealt with that? Because you don't love yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you thinking that's all right for them to do you like that. It's not. It's not. Nobody who loves you is going to intentionally cause you any harm. You know what I'm saying? Remember, he told you offense is going to come. That's why he said, hey, man, 70 times 7 if your brother offense is going to come. That's going to happen. You're human. You may say something hurt her feelings. She might do something you don't like. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Is you gonna get that patched up? Or is you gonna walk around here mad all the damn time? Like why are you walking around mad all the time? This man say one of the fruits of the spirit is joy. Why is you mad all the time? Do you know if you walk around here mad all the time, you a miserable human being? Don't nobody want to be around you, man. Let me tell you, it's two type of people I don't want to be around. I just mentioned one. The other one is a complaining nigga. I don't want to be around nobody who complain all the time. I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear that. Like, you complaining every day, bro? I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Every day? A grown man? Nah, bro. I'm straight. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I don't want to hear that, bro. You're a grown man, cuz. Tighten up on your backstroke and do something with yourself, man. I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Not every day. I get if it's a situation you like this, that, there, and the third. But if you ain't one who want to hear a solution or whatever it is you got going on, bro, I don't want to hear that. See, when we talking about complaining, I ain't talking about, hey, man, there's a situation you talking about or you venting. So, okay, I get you. Woo, woo, woo. Complaining is, this is what your forefathers did in the wilderness, all that murmuring and complaining. You know what I'm talking about? Man, a complaining nigga, man, that junk will ruin it'll ruin your life. To destroy your spirit, it'll bring you down. All that. You see what happened to your forefather? He said, man, don't be no murmuring and complaining. Yeah, man, don't do that. No, man, that junk permeates spirits, man. That junk discourages people. You know what I'm talking about? Man, I don't get your behind from around me, cuz. I don't want to hear that. Nigga, everybody got hard times. You know what I'm saying? Everybody dealing with something. And here your behind come complaining every day, throwing a pity party. I don't want an invitation to your pity party, cuz. I don't want to come. I'm good, bro. No, I'm good, bro. I don't like the party anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not finna sit around feeling sad with you, man. You know what I'm talking about? Damn so lame. Not by no nigga. You sit around and feel sad with somebody when somebody passed away. You know what I'm saying? Something traumatic done happened to this person. Yeah, you sit down with him and you mourn with him and you grieve with him. Nigga, you just sad because stuff ain't going your way. I don't want to hear that junk, nigga. What you gonna do about it? You're a grown man. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, you slacking on your macking. You know what I'm talking about? And you're limping on your pimping, man. Tighten up on your backstroke, man. Get it together. If not, shut the hell up. Because I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm talking about? That's just me personally. I can't speak for nobody else. I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong if you getting something off your chest like stuff weighing on you. That's not what we talking about, man. Everybody know somebody who's complains all the time. Complainers are miserable people. You have to stay away from that. If the book tell you not to be a murmurer and complainer, that means God don't even like that. He don't even want to hear that. Who am I to go different than what the Father do? What the book told you, man, he say, man, the son can't do nothing but what he see the Father do. So if this is what the Father doing, then I'm going to have to do likewise. He don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it either. We ain't talking about you got bitterness in your soul based on situations like what we read with Hannah. There's a difference. We're not just talking about you don't want to hear something somebody going through. Don't be no a-hole. It's not what we talking about, man. Y'all know everybody here grown. You know exactly what we talking about. People who complain for the sake of complaining. Nobody want to hear that, man. Nobody want to hear that, man. We ain't talking about somebody going through some things. You supposed to come through in the clutch when your people going through some things and they just need somebody to talk to. You know what I'm saying? You know the difference somebody going through some things and somebody complaining. You know what I'm saying? You a real nigga, you supposed to know the difference, man. Your people going through some things, you gonna ride with them. You gonna see about them. You know what I'm talking about? If it ain't nothing as simple as, man, I'm just tapping in with you, man. You good, my nigga? Yeah, everything's great. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Absolutely, complainers don't want solutions. There's venting and complaining. Yeah, absolutely. People who getting stuff off their chest, they just want some encouragement. You know what I'm saying? Just some comfort. We talk about that, man, two better than one, because if one falls, who gonna pick him up? And if he cold, who gonna warm him? A 3-4 cord can't be broken. You know what I'm talking about? So you know the difference, man. You know, life hard to be navigating the dolo. You know what I'm saying? It's a hard journey, man. You know what I'm talking about? More people just want somebody to walk with them, man. You know what I'm saying? Like DMX said, you know, share my pain, make it a little easier to deal with. That's all. But you talking about just complaining all the time? You can get your maggot behind from around me, cuz. Psalm 62:3. How long will you imagine mischief against a man? You shall be slain, all of you, as a bowing wall shall you be as a tottering fence. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies, they bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly, Salah. See, when we say, hail, master, look at say they only consult to cast him down from his excellency. Pay attention to that, man, because that's what wicked niggas do. And it is what it is, man. Let me tell you one thing you should never try to do. Never try to understand a wicked nigga. Just get away from it. Once they show you that they're disagreeable, have a proclivity to perversity and depravity, you know what I'm saying, and rebelliousness, don't try to figure out why that nigga like that. Just get from running. Like that man told you, don't make a friend with an angry man unless he be a snare to your soul. Sometimes, man, once you recognize people are disagreeable to the will of God, man, you got to get away from them people there unless you get caught up in that stuff, man. Because if a man named by the name of Solomon, who is wiser than all of us, you know what I'm saying, got caught up with outlandish women, as Nehemiah put it, what make you think you not going to get caught up? You know what I'm saying? When this man say evil communications corrupt good manners, man, you not that strong, blood. I'm telling you, ain't nobody that strong that you will not fall victim to the machinations, influence of ungodly people in certain situations and circumstances. Sometimes it's just best for you to slide. You know what I'm saying? This is why I would tell you can't compromise godliness. Some people will size you with certain stuff just to see if you'll go against your God. People play games like that. So you ask my friends when they have something done, are you venting or do you want advice at the end of this? It do help for you to know how to process what they're saying. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sometimes you gotta leave people alone, man. Whether you in the word or not. Sometimes you just gotta leave, man, let me get away from this. Like if a nigga drink all the time and you ain't trying to drink, you can't be around them. Guess what you gonna end up doing? Well, little Ribby ain't gonna hurt. Now you dancing on top of tables, drunk, throwing up in the street. Maybe silly enough to get behind the wheel of a car. Like it happens all the time. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? Don't gotta be no outlandish, you know what I'm saying, crazy stuff, man. Stuff just chip away. When you see certain people on a certain type of time, man, you gotta leave them alone. That don't mean that you just gotta be like, hey, get away, you wicked bastard. You have to adjust how you interact with people. You can't interact with everybody the same. You know what I'm saying? Can't. Look here, if you know somebody always stay in some mess. When I say some mess, it's just always chaotic, crazy stuff going on. Man, you can't be fooled because you'll get pulled into that. You know what I'm saying? I told you, man, people lose their life in situations like that. Because this person always in this and in that, and now you fooling with them, and now you tied into it. And now you feel like you got to do this here because this your friend. Man, you put your life on the line, man. And for what? This ain't even got nothing to do with you. My God, today. Verse 5, Psalm 62. Oh, I meant to read y'all consult and excellence here. I'm sorry. When you sit back and you look at consult, that is ya'at, and that is to consult, to deliberate, to conspire. All these people are conspiring to cast him down. Cast is nadah, and that is to thrust away, to thrust aside, to banish, to hunt, to chase. They want to cast him down from his excellency. Excellency is Seah, Sean, Aleph, and Tau, and that is dignity, exaltation. I think it's used in another spot. Okay, no, that's a different word. Nevertheless. He said they delight in lies. You put another proverb up there too, man. Put that back up there for me. As a matter of fact, I'll scroll back up. He said they consult to him to cast down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth. They curse inwardly. And you have to realize something, man. It's a lot of wicked people that want to, Proverbs 10:3, that want to cast you down. They want to see you fall into some manner of depravity, and they seem to be blessing with their mouth, but inwardly they're praying for destruction on you, man. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, man, you got to make sure that the word is in you and you in the word, so you keep your head on the swivel. You did? Oh, that was Proverbs 10:3. Yeah, that's on point right here, man. It's Proverbs 10:3. Yahuwah will not suffer the soul of the righteous to famish, but he cast away the substance of the wicked. He ain't gonna never cause you to go hungry, man. Absolutely, Mama Steph. Man, you gotta watch these people, man. And listen, right, just because people wicked and foul and fake and phony, that shouldn't have nothing to do with your godliness. Just because you ain't godly don't mean I need to stoop down to your level of ungodliness. Remember, godliness in Hebrew means to be faithful, so I'm just gonna stay faithful. Just because you unfaithful don't mean I have to be. You know what I'm saying? That's why he say, you overcome evil with good. That's why he say, if your enemy be hungry, he say, hey, man, give him something to eat. If he be thirsty, give him something to drink. In doing so, you hoping coals of fire on their head. This is what the Lord meant when he say, turn the other cheek. Man, if that's what that wicked nigga got going on, we going to hit you with the God. Man, you know how wicked Israel was, and Yahuwah still blessed you because he knew when he doing that. When I part your scalp, nigga, it's going to be good and parted to the white meat. Yeah, I'm gonna let you think it's gravy. Because I ain't got to do nothing to you, because vengeance is of Yahuwah. That's what the book say. I ain't got to do nothing to you. He gonna do it to you, you wicked, dirty-faced bastard Jew. A lot of these people wicked as hell, man. Listen, right? Most of these people you look on these YouTube channels, most of these niggas on these Facebook pages, these Instagrams, these Clubhouse doggone profile, these niggas wicked as hell. You know what I'm talking about? They cut that camera off. They log off. They out here doing all manner of stuff. Nigga care. Look here, man. You know how wicked you got to be on Clubhouse all day long talking about the word, and we can still, because it'll seem like you ain't even got no time to do no sin, but it's apparent that your heart is dark. See, people think they not wicked because, I ain't doing this. Your heart is dark. We talk about that with the wheats and the tares, man. It's black kernels, man. It look like the real thing. This nigga fake, though. You know what I'm talking about? He's not the genuine article. He's not authentic. Made me think about when Muffin was a child. When I bought my first authentic football jersey, it was Michael Vick, 2001, this rookie jersey, man. And it had the tag on there, man. And it said, NFL on field apparel. And it said, if it don't have a shield, it don't get on the field. And mother used to tell them kids, your jersey fake. They say, how you tell me my jersey fake? Because my brother said, if it don't got the shield, it don't get on the field. I used to give it a tag. You know what I'm saying? At that time, I was like 9. You know what I'm saying? Finna get ready to turn 10, somewhere in there. You know what I'm talking about? But at the point of the award, man, well, that's not the genuine article, cuz. That's a replica. It look real, but it ain't real. Most of these people, man, they replicas, man. It look like the real thing. But boy, that junk a cheap knockoff, boy. You know what I'm talking about? And you got to pay attention to that, man. I don't care nothing about your Hebrew names, cuz. I don't care about your scholarship. I don't care about none of that, boy. We examine hearts around here, cuz. You can say you can't examine a man's heart. All you got to do is sit back and watch their behavior, because it's not a single solitary secret of the heart that the behavior is not going to show. And that's why that man say you're going to know them by their fruits. You around here talking about you can't know what's in the nigga heart because you ain't paying attention to how they live. You got to pay attention to what they showing you, man, through their actions. It's going to tell you all you need to know right there, man. You know what I'm talking about? Proverbs 19:19, man, blood put on the table, man. He said, a man of great wrath shall suffer punishment. For if you deliver him, yet you must do it again. You know what I'm saying? Now listen what he say, man. A man of great wrath. What's a man of great wrath? Man who stay in sin. He gonna have to keep on sinning. That's why he say he died to sin once. That's why he say if you got to get baptized again, you put the man to an open shame. You know what I'm saying? And again, we're not talking about, we were watching the movie last night, right? It was called You're My Person. It's a dude on Instagram. He's called There Goes the Buzz. He does these, like, what you call them, voiceovers? And he be clowning, certain scenes of the film. You know what I'm saying? They mainly be Tubi films. But in this film, this dude who cheated on his wife. But in the film, it was an example of what we were talking about weakness. Because this man was weak because he hadn't been seeing his wife. His wife's taking care of his mama. Or her mama, I should say, and they hadn't been intimate for a long period of time. That boy said they Tucci, not Gucci. That boy that wild. And this woman walked up on him, and this woman was a killer. This character was crazy, is all I know. You know what I'm saying? And for whatever reason that she popped up at it, I forgot how they got to the house. They in the pool. Woman pulled him in the pool. You know what I'm saying? She trying to make a move on him. Now I mention this because he's weak in the flesh. He know he shouldn't do this. But he almost does it. His wife FaceTimes him. When his wife FaceTimes him, he said, oh, no, you got to get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? He clicking his brain. This is what we talking about when we say, when we tell you like, hey, man, everybody not that strong. Some dudes are just philanderers. You know what I'm saying? They just sit here and they just want to lie and just have sex with all different type of women while they're making this woman think that it's just her and him. That nigga's a different type of nigga. I'm just using this as an example of weakness in the flesh. Unfortunately, it was sexual intercourse that was used. Now, this old bald-headed heifer comes up with a sob story coming to this man's house late at night. You know what I'm talking about she needs somewhere to stay. Now, her intentions is to take this man down. He tell her, hey, you sleep on the couch. He in the bed. He never makes a move on this woman. You know what I'm talking about? He hears her rumbling in the refrigerator. Now, truth be told, he's supposed to went with his first instinct. If you almost got weak with having sex with this woman once before, you shouldn't let her stay to your house. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, I'll shoot you a couple dollars. You get your hotel. You can't stay here. You know what I'm saying? Because he paused before, because he didn't really want to do it, because he knew that he was in a position mentally, more than anything, carnally, that he may do something that he's going to regret. You know what I'm talking about? He in the bed. He ain't thinking about this woman. He never go down here and try this woman. He hears some rumbling downstairs. He go downstairs. This woman in the refrigerator. She in her drawers. I guess this nigga made a life-altering mistake. Because at the end of the film, man, baby killed his mother-in-law. Found out she killed another couple, killed his wife, and then killed him. You know what I'm talking about? And the girl was crazy in the film. You know what I'm talking about? That FaceTime was the way out. And he took that FaceTime because he did put out. But right then and there, he was never supposed to have no more interactions with that woman ever. See, that's what most people go make the mistake at. When you get the out with something that you see you weak on, you can't never have that interaction ever again. I'm mentioning that because his intention, and my wife can tell you, because she watched the movie with, his intention was not to have sex with this woman. That was not his intent. But because he was so weak in the flesh, he fell for it. I'm mentioning that because in Hebrews 10, it tells you if we sin willfully, there remain no more sacrifice for sins. But that willfully pertains to knowledgeable sin, not sins done out of ignorance or weakness. And I'm mentioning that because that film was an example of that. That man was in a weak state. You can find yourself in a weak state and do something that you may have not done under regular circumstances. So when you see yourself in a weak state, you have to have a level of spiritual awareness to make sure that, hey, let me get up out of that. That's why he said, watch and pray. For the flesh is weak, but the ruach is willing. Do not underestimate. Again, I repeat, do not underestimate how weak you can be in the flesh and what you may do in that moment of weakness. It don't mean that you're just a wicked, horrible individual. It means that you were weak in the flesh, but you have to be cognizant of that and make sure, hey, let me get on up out of here. Let me get on up out of here. Let me leave this person alone. Because in this area, I'm not that strong. If I keep fooling with them, I may go do this. See, we talking about just being genuinely honest with ourselves. It's not justification for behavior. It's understanding yourself. Because is this nigga wrong for sleeping with this woman? You doggone right he wrong. But what he did was he underestimated how weak he really was. He thought he could withstand. Because see, when you weak, you know you shouldn't do it, but a part of you want to do it. That's the weakness. See, the weakness say, I know I want to do it. I know I shouldn't do it, but you don't get yourself removed from that situation. Like I said, when he got that FaceTime, see, this is the thing, right? He'll give you an out. That don't mean he's going to give you an out every time. See, he got his out with the FaceTime. That was for him to recognize, leave this woman alone. Don't call her, don't see her, don't have no interactions with her, because if you do, you're going to get them yams, bro. You're going to do that. Because you was already this close to doing it. So you can't fool with them no more. You know what I'm saying? You have to be honest with yourself. Let me tell you something, man. There is no shame in saying I'm weak right now. If anybody tell you it's some shame in that, they're a wicked bastard. There's no shame in saying I'm weak in the flesh. We can read instances where people came to the Lord and say, Lord, strengthen my faith, increase my faith. You can't have shame in that. If that's what it is, then that's what it is. See, the only people going to make you feel bad about that is a wicked bastard. That's it. Anybody who's of God, they're going to seek to strengthen you, not make you feel bad about being weak. You know why? Because they know what it's like to be weak. And they know that Yahuwah or someone strengthened them, so they're going to want to do the same thing for you. Because they want you to be at your best. See, people who love and care about you, they want you to be at your best. They want you to be strong. They don't want to have the ability to say, look at that nigga that he's seeing. Got to pay attention to all of that, man. Most of these people handling the word, these niggas is fake as a $3 bill. These niggas is flawed. I'm talking about blood family members. You know what I'm talking about? Hell, your children, spouses, especially most of these niggas in this world, these niggas is fake. Meaning they not who they say they are. They're not. They'll get on here and be pious and cut this thing off, and them boys slaying everything. But you know, do what you want to with it, man. Shoot. Just protect yourself. That's all I can tell you. 62 and 5 songs. My soul wait you only upon. My soul wait you only upon Elohim, for my expectation is from him. He only is my rock of my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be moved. In Elohim is my salvation, my esteem, the rock of my strength, and my refuge is in Elohim. Trust in him at all times. You people, pour out your heart before him. Elohim is a refuge for us. That's the part that we came here for. That man say, pour out your heart at all times. Well, pour out your heart before him because he is your refuge, and trust in him at all times. That's what you seen when the Son of God say, Abba, into your hands I commit my spirit. He trusted in him at all times. When you look at trust, of course, you know this is batak, bat, tat, and kod, excuse me. That's the trust, to have confidence, to be confident. Remember, trust in Yahuwah. For trust, blessed is the man who trusts in Yahuwah, whose hope Yahuwah is. That trust removes the anxiety. Now, of course, I have to read Philippians 4, and then I'm going to get Isaiah 58, and we're going to get out of here, and we'll get more into the affliction part, y'all willing, on the Shabbat. But I did want to establish the aspect of the trust that the Son of God had in the midst of his affliction. When you look at refuge, it is ma'akase, mean, kot, tet, and hay. That's a refuge, a shelter from rain or storm or from danger. You know, your God seeks to want to give you protection from danger. You know what I'm saying? Just like any man would want to give protection from danger for his wife, or any man would want to give protection from danger for his children. This is part of the reason why you see Yahuwah use that type of imagery and of a man to his wife or a man to his child. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's something that a man can relate to in general, for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Philippians 4. Philippians 4 and 4. Rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I say rejoice. Let your moderation be known unto all men. The Lord is at hand. Be careful for nothing. Careful again, meaning be anxious for nothing. But in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto Elohim. Notice he said your supplications, your prayers, but with todah, with thanksgiving, with confession, with praise. But don't be anxious for nothing. He already know what you need before you ask it. You understand? And the shalom of Elohim, that's right, brother, which pass all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Mashiach Yahushua. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, when you're dealing with anxiety, now he's going to tell you to think on these things, and I'm going to run this down. We do this every time we discuss this particular matter. He say, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true. When you're dealing with true in the Greek, it is alathes, and that is true, loving the truth, speaking the truth, or truthful. Whatsoever things are truthful, whatsoever things are honest. When you're dealing with honest, that is semnos, that is that which is to be respected or honorable. That is august, venerable, reverend, to be venerated for character, honorable, a person or deeds, but more importantly, that which is honorable. So when you look at that which is honest, that which is honorable. Then when you look at whatsoever things are just, of course, you know just is, for at least in Hebrew, is going to be sadak. In Greek, is going to be dakaios, which is righteous. The upright or righteous virtue, to keeping the commands of God, approved or acceptable unto God. In this instance, these are the things that pertain to faith, the righteousness of faith. Think on that. This is what he tell you to do when you're facing some type of anxiety. Whatsoever things are pure, haganos, again, exciting reverence, venerable, sacred, pure from carnality, chaste, modest, pure from every fault, immaculate, clean. Whatsoever things are lovely. When you're dealing with lovely, that which is pros phieles, that is what is acceptable or pleasing. In Hebrew, that would be kafats, or that which is delightful. Whatsoever things are of good report. When you look at good report, that is yoaphamos, that's uttering good words, sounding well. See, pause, come to Isaiah 50. This is what a lot of people don't seek to even try to do. Where's that? That's Jeremiah 50. That's not Isaiah 50. I couldn't say, I know that doesn't look like nothing what I was going to read. Isaiah 50 and 4. Yahuwah Elohim has given me the tongue of the learned, that I should know how to speak a word in season to him that is weary. He wakened me morning by morning. He wakened my ear to hear as the learned. Yahuwah Elohim opened my ear, and I was not rebellious, neither turned away back. I gave my back to the smiters and my cheeks to them that plucked off the hair. I hid not my face from spitting and shame. Obviously, you know that they plucked this man's beard off and slapped him in the face. But we came here that he said, know how to speak a word in season to them that are weary. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you don't have somebody in a particular instance to speak a word to you when you are weary, then you need to think on the good words of Yahuwah when you're feeling some type of anxiety. Now, he said, and if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. What is virtue? Of course, I know y'all know what praise is. Virtue in the Greek is arete. Virtuous course of thought, feeling, and action, moral goodness, a particular moral excellence as modesty and purity. And praise in the Greek is ephanihos, commendation or praise, something that is commendable. Now, this is not something that we done said in a while because we don't, different time. But you know, a lot of people used to think that we would just go through showing a Mashiach out the book as a shoot, I understand. Shoot, everybody gonna have them times. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's why he say right here in Isaiah 40 and 28. Well, 29 is fine. He give power to the faint, to them that have no might. He increased strength. That's why he say, you know, my strength is made perfect for you. For my strength is made perfect in weakness. You know what I'm talking about? He said, even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young man shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon Yahuwah shall renew their strength. They shall mount up wings as eagles, and they shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. That's why Paul said our inward man is renewed day by day. Because people just act like you're not going to have these situations happen to you because you're in the word. That's just not tangible. That's not real life. Real life will happen to you. You are human beings. You are subject to like passions, and things can do that. And that's why he said, I'll renew your strength. I'll renew your faith. But if you're dealing with some manner of anxiety, these are the things that you think upon. You did? You think upon him. And all those things that you read in this Philippians 4, these are things that deal with him. That's why we talk about the Exodus 34 all the time. When you think upon him, that's why you know we don't need no excuse. Isaiah 26:3 says what? He keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. Trusting Yahuwah forever. For trusting Yahuwah is everlasting strength. You know what I'm talking about? So that's why he say that you'll be careful for nothing. You won't be anxious for anything when you know blessed is the man who trusts in Yahuwah, whose hope Yahuwah is. This is why Yahushua say, Abba, into your hand I commend my ruach. I entrust my breath, my life to you because I trust in you. So any manner of anxiety that I may have had, which you seen that anxiety when he was asking for the cup to pass, but because of his trust in his Father, but nevertheless, not your will be done, my will be done, but your will be done. His trust in his Father took the anxiety away, and even still, he sent a Malachim to strengthen him. Remember, trust in him at all times and pour out your heart unto him. He is a refuge for us. You've seen the Son of God do the same thing in the midst of the very same affliction. You know what I'm saying? So when you see your king and redeemer participating in the same behavior, guess what that tells you that you can do? If he did it for him, why wouldn't he do it for you? See, these people want you to believe that, oh, he wouldn't do for you what he did for this person or what he did because that's a righteous man. Well, what makes him more righteous than me? When he says, little children, let no man deceive you. He that do righteousness is righteous, even as Yahushua is righteous. Stop letting these people discourage you and weaken your faith because they wicked as hell, because they unbelievers. That man don't operate like that. If you show the same pattern of behavior and faith as the righteous men before you, he will extend the same level of grace and mercy to you. Shalom, that man. Yes, sir. Shoot, praise you, Lord, indeed. Man, stop letting these people lie to you, man. Man, that man's not on. This man's not a buster. If you fool with him, he fool with you. If you ride with him, he riding with you. This is what this man said he'll do. This man ain't on this stuff with these niggas on, man. Like, oh yeah, that's just Daniel. See, I only would do that for Daniel. Only do that for Daniel. Oh, shoot, free. I gotta send you the YouTube page, even if you got no worry about no replay, but it's always on the channel. It's always on the channel. It'll take YouTube killing the channel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Listen, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. That man told you in the Epistle of James that the prayer of a righteous man availeth much. And then he mentioned Elijah and say, this man, let me just read it to you. Stop letting these people lie to you. Stop letting these people discourage you. You can, bro. 5 and 16, the epistle of James. Confess your faults one to another and pray for one another that you may be healed. The effectual, fervent prayer of a righteous man avail much. Elijah was a man subject to like passions as we are, and he prayed earnestly that it might not rain. And it rained not on the earth by the space of 3 years and 6 months. And he prayed again, and the heaven gave rain, and the earth brought forth her fruit. That man say Elijah's subject to the same passions. So that means he just told you this man ain't no better than you. I will praise you. He said that's why in Revelation 6 they said they're waiting for the other saints. That's right. Absolutely. Yeah, man, this man is not saying that, oh, it's tiers and it's levels to this. That man ain't never said none of that. That man said his saints and the righteous, his sons and his daughters. If you a son of his, if you a daughter of his, if you're a saint of his, if you've made a covenant with him by sacrifice, that man gonna do the same thing for you that he did for all these men and women in this book. He'll do the same thing for you. If not, he'd be a liar. But you know who is the liar? These whole niggas who be running their mouth telling you what God not gonna do for you, though his words say something different. So who you gonna believe? The goofy nigga who can't stop lying and sinning and whatever type of carnal activity he fooling with, or a God who said, trust in me and I will redeem you? Come on, Isaiah 58. Now, see, we finna talk about Isaiah 58 and 1 in a way that most Israelites don't talk about it. That's why we saved it to the end. Because if you made it this far, it was for you to hear. Let the wicked niggas go on about their business. You know what I'm talking about? Because, you know, Israelites like to read this Isaiah 58 and 1 and scream this out in the street while they're yelling at people. This ain't what this man talking about. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up your voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions and the house of Jacob their sins. Now, this is pertaining to atonement. Y'all willing, amen, man. Y'all willing, we going to get more into this. Because we're dealing with this here because Mother Sharona asked about some of this stuff, and I said, you know what? We ain't did that in a long time. We're going to run it back. This is something we did this year, 2015. I think the only way you'll be able to plug that video up, man, is if you go on the channel and you put oldest to new, or however you do the filter, and you look for atonement 2015 or it's got to be 2015, maybe 2014, but I want to say 2015. It's there. Well, what we talking about right now, that's when we did it. But of course, we put a difference, you know what I'm saying? Different little bit, you know what I mean? You know, we whipping this work a little different. Meaning, it's certain elements that we didn't discuss then that we discuss now. That's what that means. You know what I'm saying? When he say cry loud, spare not, lift up your voice like a trumpet. Do you remember that Jubilee mean trumpet and that Jubilee is done on atonement and you have to blow the trumpet in the Jubilee and that the Jubilee pertains to, you okay? Pertains to the setting free, the releasing from debts. Do you remember how earlier we read in Matthew where he said he cried with a loud voice and gave up the ghost? Do you remember what we read in Mark and said he cried with a loud voice and gave up the ghost? Do you remember what we read in John 19? He cried out with a loud voice and said it's finished. Do you remember what we read in Luke 23 where it said he cried out, Abba, into your hands I commend my ruach. So when you see him crying aloud and sparing not, let's look at what spare not means. When you look at spare, it is kasak, kat, shan, kav. It means to withhold or restrain, to keep in, to refrain, to withhold, to keep back. He didn't keep back. He cried aloud. He did not keep back from crying aloud. He lifted up his voice like a trumpet. That trumpet is relevant because trumpet makes loud noise for an alarm. He's crying out like a trumpet because this is the Jubilee. This is the releasing of debts. Remember, he said, he that commits sin is a servant of sin. If the Son shall set you free, you shall be free indeed. The only person who can set you free from your debts and Jubilee is Yahuwah. Notice that because it's done on atonement. which is reconciliation, which is the purging of iniquity or the purging of debts. And this is done by your kinsman redeemer. And we know that Yahushua is your kinsman redeemer. Remember, we were talking about that when we were reading in Ruth, right? Then he said, to show the people their transgressions. Do you not realize when he became sin, who knew no sin, he showed them their rebellion? Do you not, when he said he showed the house of Jacob their sins, that's also sin, sinful, katah, that is, sin offering, condition of sin, guilt of sin, punishment for sin, purification from sins, or a sin offering. Do you not realize that he showed them the sin offering when he says, truly this man is the Son of God? All that affliction he went through to set you free. You understand? But before we even get to the part of setting free, we had to deal with the part of how much he trusted in this man to be able to go through that affliction. And how he had no care, anxiety, or worries. Because he trusted in this man. He thought on this man. You know what I'm saying? All them things we read in Philippians, he thought on that. So when we look, because everybody want to say, oh, you know, we got to walk out the laws like him. See, that's what they want to always talk about, Israelites anyway. But don't nobody want to talk about, but do you want to walk out the pattern of faith that he exhibited, though? Did you pay attention to that? Did you pay attention to the interactions that he had with people? Did you pay attention to the mercy and compassion that he showed? Did you pay attention to the graciousness that he showed? Did you pay attention to his slowness to anger? Did you pay attention to that, nigga? Did you pay attention to how forgiving this man was? Of course you did. Did you pay attention to how good this man was and how that goodness was in abundance? Of course you didn't pay attention to it. Because you want to focus on he kept the Sabbath and didn't eat pork, you jackass. You know what I'm talking about? Indeed. So the judgment, mercy, and faith, the weightier matters of the law, you didn't focus on that. So guess who gets left wanting? The people get left wanting. So the people who really want to seek the Father and be delivered and be saved and serve him and ruach and in truth and in peace and in righteousness, they can't do it. They can't do it. You know why? Because you want to argue if he God or not. You want to argue about if Gentiles can be saved or not. Man, we don't care about that junk, my nigga. I'm being honest with you, man. You want to argue about how many wives you can have. Bro, I don't care. I don't care, man. I don't care about that. How did that benefit my soul? And I said all that to say this. When you listening to these people about what they talking about, if it don't benefit your soul, what you sitting there listening to them for? You know what I'm saying? If your soul being saved is what you after, what you listening to them for? Remember, we talk about this all the time. That man said, I'm going to speak to your heart. I'm going to draw you with love and kindness. Why is you listening to this idiot? This idiot don't love God, you or himself. And hey, man, you don't have to say these things out loud. But these are things that you say, because at the end of the day, your soul salvation is your responsibility. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to denigrate or say nothing about nobody if you have determined that the truth. Don't you know the book say if there ain't no truth in him, he say walk away from him, forsake the foolish and live. Let me read that to you, man, just so you know I ain't making this up. I'm not telling you to do nothing that this book don't tell you to do. See, the thing I'm telling you, I seen this in the book. I seen it. I said, okay, this is what we gonna do. Proverb 9:5. And some things I was doing before the word, man. If I determine you was stupid, bro, I'm not finna sit here and keep listening to you. Man, you who have mercy on the soul, man. Man, the big cuz Damon was still alive, man. And I would do stuff like that. That man might swing on me now. At 44 years old, he'd be like, boy, I taught you better than that. Boy, what is you doing? What is you doing? Well, that's not what I taught you to do. Why is you doing that? You know what I'm saying? See, you can see me in the room on here, man, and these dudes will be talking about a whole bunch of stuff. I ain't gonna lie to you. The volume on my phone ain't that loud. So depending on what I'm doing, I don't hear what them niggas talking about anyway, especially if they talking about some stupidity. And I'm not listening to that. You know what I'm saying? I'm in there because they're my folks, man. You know what I'm talking about? I fool with some of them, man. But most of them. Shoot, damn near all of them. But some of that other niggas talking about, man, I don't give a damn about what them niggas talking about. Man, my old lady ask me all the time, man, what the word is today. Shoot, I would half listen. Man, I go in the gym, man, my phone in my pocket. I can't hear nothing. You know what I'm talking about? I might pull it out here when they talking about, man, I'm trying to get this work done, man. I'm not really listening to what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? I might be, you know what I'm saying, on a whole nother, I might be looking at emails, all type of stuff. I'm listening, but I'm not listening. depending on what it is that's being discussed. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean I gotta get off the mic and be like, y'all niggas sound stupid as hell. Bro, we had like a 4.5 hour. I told you about this other day. That's why we got to read Genesis 24 about putting hands on a man's genitalia. This literally was a 5-hour conversation because somebody wanted to make it believe that, see, Abraham gay, he grabbed a man's nuts. Like, seriously. Because people hate God just that much. You know what I'm talking about? Well, shoot, boy, doggone Yoshi had a doggone battle with about 25 people about the earth being flat. That was Sunday night. That was Sunday night. Yeah, man, he was battling. I ain't even making this up. I don't even know how we got on that conversation because we were talking about some real stuff. And next thing I know, they were talking about Abraham putting the hand on a man's thigh and make him swear. And man, after that, it went left. And no matter what information was brought, if an individual want to believe that this man's gay, that's what they're going to want to believe. Because people have no care or concern about cultural context and how these people live their life back then. Just because you think that's gay now, them people didn't move like that back then. These people were not amplified of not wanting to be concerned about being labeled gay. They didn't care about none of that. I know we might joke around with the pause and all that, but I do that for fun. But trust and believe, nigga, I ain't gay. I don't give a good goddamn what a nigga got to say about that. Oh, that nigga said, so what, ho, nigga? You think about a wee-wee in your mouth? You think about some hot dogs in your buns, my nigga? Because I ain't never thought about no man in that fashion. That junk just jokes, because guess what? I like crude humor. Maybe my humor is immature. So what? I've been cracking jokes like this since I was a teenager. I ain't stopped. I still do these nuts jokes. Everybody knows that. I mean, that's just me. But in the reality of the situation, bro, man, I'm not concerned about a nigga thinking I'm gay because I don't want no man. Ain't no man walking around here with a back big as mine and skin rough as sandpaper, anything deemed attractive in my brain. You know what I'm talking about? When I was in prison, I was amazed. You niggas want, you know what I'm talking about? You niggas want a man, bro? That nigga ugly as hell. That nigga big as you. How could you look at that nigga and say, dang, he look good? Ain't enough time in the world, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't enough time in the world, man. I ain't that horny, bro. I do not want to ejaculate that bad. And I say, you know what? It's close enough. Nah, man, it's not. It's not. You know what I'm saying? But we live in a time period where everybody's concerned with being gay. And that would tell me that you might possibly have latent homosexual tendencies that you're running away from. If you worry about a nigga thinking you gay, I don't give a damn what a nigga think. At all. Who cares? If you know you ain't gay, why you care about what he think? Because that nigga probably gay. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of these niggas gay out here, man. You know what I'm saying? That's their business. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, that ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? I don't be overly concerned with what other people got going on. This lady in this group I'm in, no, it's just for fun. Man, if you know where it came from, I just was listening to a song the other day that Jay made in 97, and this nigga said pause. Like, nigga, it's the same way a dude was talking about simp. And I'm like, bro, I've been saying simp since 1993. You know what I'm saying? It just people on the internet done took it and went way somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like Cam and Mace, then where they from, that's what they do. They've been doing it for a long time. Like we didn't say pause, but we said stuff damn near close to it. You know what I'm saying? Damn near close to it, because that's just how we clown back then. It made me think by the time we were young, man, my homeboys from Brooklyn, man, Mike and Rick, they were brothers. And we were throwing the football around. And Rick was like, could you throw me the ball so I can play with it? Can you throw me the ball? Bro, we were clowning this man out here when he did that. Bro, this was literally 1997. You know what I'm saying? We just didn't say pause. We knew them boys said pause, but we didn't say pause. You know what I'm saying? We would be more not the Ayo, we'll be like, man, you hear this thing? Like, we finna clown. Because, you know, it's humor, it's fun. Life's difficult. You know what I'm saying? Smile sometimes. Get a laugh. You know what I'm saying? Book tell you laughter good for your soul. Sometimes, man, you need to get your laugh. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, we clown like that all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing. Like I say, dudes grab simp. Simping don't mean what dudes say simping mean, man. When simping was created, that mean that was a dude who was acting like a pimp, but he wasn't. Instead of the women paying him, he was paying the women. That's what a simp was. You know what I'm talking about? A fake pimp. That's why it's simp. You know what I'm saying? It's literally a fake pimp. Not all this extra stuff. These dudes will tell you you're simp if you're nice to your old lady. God damn, cuz, what's wrong with you? Why you with a woman you don't want to be nice to? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy, man. Yeah, it definitely was, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say it's immature humor, man. But I'm not ashamed to say that I participate in immature humor. I'm not ashamed to say it at all. Yes, I'm almost 45. And yes, I will come up to you and be like, yeah, man, bruh asked about you. Who? These nuts. I will. Yes, I will. Everybody knows it. You know what I'm talking about? Who knows me personally? Yes, I will. I certainly will. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing about it, man, sometimes a good laugh good for your soul. Take your mind off your troubles for a little bit, man. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Make life just a little bit easier to deal with. You know what I mean? Some people don't agree with it. Hey. And then you know certain people, man, if they don't like certain type of humor, certain type of jokes, they'll tell you that. And if you're a real person, then you're not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? We all know, say, if we in Grand Rising, we know certain words Mama Steph don't like to hear, so you conscious of that. You're not going to use them. That's when you care about people and you're fooling with them. When you don't care about people, you just going to say whatever. Hey, stop it, Joanne. Stop it. I know you're trying to stand it up, but he don't understand. Say you love a good laugh. Oh, I heard that. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Somebody come and tell you, hey, man, I don't joke like that. Okay, cool. Stop, Joanne. Stop. Move out his way. Move out his way. Kalisha said not to rank on you no more. I will not. I will not. I will not. Just because you asked, I refuse. I might have gonna stop. But now you said I don't want you want, I ain't doing nothing. So you get ranked on because you like the little sister that has to be, we have to ignore it just because. Just because. See, Muffin don't get annoyed like that because that's my baby. That's my baby. But you the little sister that get picked on just because. But nobody else can do it. Well, maybe your husband can, but I don't know what type of jokes y'all crack. You know what I'm saying? Let's hear Proverbs 9:5. Come and eat of my bread and drink of the wine which I have mingled. Forsake the foolish and live, and go on the way of understanding. Always remember that. Forsake the foolish and live. You see what I'm saying? Absolutely do. Absolutely do. That's what we do in Duval County. But hallelujah for Yahushua the word. I appreciate y'all. I bless y'all the house Elohim in the name of Yahushua. I love y'all. Yahuwah willing, man, we'll be back on Shabbat and we'll delve further into the affliction aspect of it. But we needed to deal with the anxiety and trust part because as you can see, I didn't read it all the way out, but I mentioned it. Like, yes, sir, Brother Nate. You seen he had a little care and anxiety, man, when he was like, hey, man, I'm exceedingly sorrowful, even unto death. And he went to pray and asked for the cup to pass because he was flesh and blood. But the trust in Yahuwah. Yes, sir. Amen, man. Peace, Brother Omar. Amen. Yes, sir. Shalom, man. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, his trust in Yahuwah assuaged that anxiety. His trust in his father abated that word. You know what I'm saying? It don't make you. Shalom, Sister Jenny. Most High bless 10K. Amen, Brother Margaret, man. Love you too, bro. Be safe out here, man. It don't make you weak or evil or anything because you have moments of anxiety or fear or work. You're flesh and blood. Just remember what the man told you to do. Think on those things that are pure. Think on those things that are honest. Think on those things that are just. Think on those things that are of a good report. Think upon Yahuwah. Remember, he'll keep you in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. Trust in Yahuwah. Let me get that because everybody knows, who knows me personally, knows that I do not need any reason whatsoever to read Proverbs 26:3 and Job 19:25. You will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. What is it to keep? Of course, you know keep. Here is Nasar, that is to guard, to watch, to keep over. He will guard and keep you in perfect shalom, which is complete soundness, welfare, health, prosperity, quiet, tranquility, contentment. He will keep you in perfect peace. It's shalom. So this is what he's going to keep you in. Who's led, as far as his mind is concerned. Well, no, it's not led there. It's yes, sir. And that is purpose, imagination, device, intellectual framework. When he tell you that he'll keep you in perfect peace, who your plots, plans, and devices, it stayed with him. All your purposes, all your imaginations, his devices, he say he'll keep them when they're stayed on him because you bataking him, and we already talked about that. Thank you, Yahuwah, man. Yahuwah brew, bro. He say, trust in Yahuwah forever. For in Yahuwah is everlasting strength. And that's Olam Sur. Olam is long duration. Sur is Sa, U, and Raj, and that's rock. Literally what it means. Rock, cliff, wall, cliff, rock with a flat surface, a block of stone, boulder, the rock of God, rock. He telling you right now that Yahuwah is your everlasting rock. Just like we were talking about earlier, just what Deuteronomy say. Same way the Lord tell you if you build your house on a rock, you'll be able to endure. You know what I'm saying? No matter what come your way, because you built it on God. You know what I'm saying? You do that when that, man. I ain't saying it ain't gonna be difficult. It's for what you gotta endure, but you'll overcome it though. That's guaranteed. That's not, I can say that with 100% surety, without a doubt. That as long as you built your house upon Yahushua HaMashiach through his Abba, you built your house on that rock, you won't be moved. You will not be moved. Matter of fact, let me read you this song where it say that. I think it's Psalm 126. My wife is just stealing beverages. She's a beverage. Beverage thief. Thief of beverages. Mm-hmm. That's what she like to do. What a song about? Psalms 125. They that trust in Yahuwah shall be as Mount Zion, which cannot be removed, but abide forever. And then Hebrews 12 mentions the same thing. Hebrews 12:25. Brother Herman say, man, them songs from the mothers of the church back in the day hit harder now. I wish I could say I have no idea what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? But for those of you who do, prayerfully they do hit harder now. Because I know that everybody had these experiences, man. And I know back in them times, I know especially like when you read what Timothy was talking about, what Paul was talking about Timothy with his grandmother Lois. Shalom, Eric, man. Things like that. You know, some of y'all may have grew up with a mama or grandma who was locked in the word like that. You know what I'm saying? And then you exemplifying the pattern of faith that she showed. Yeah, don't let these wicked niggas tell y'all, man, to toss that to the side. Yes, sir. And that's the basis of what we talking about, Mike, man. Is, you know, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith that we, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of God, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to suffer for it. The same way he suffered for it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. I can't speak on the church. Like I say, y'all already know that. But for those of you who were in the church and y'all had examples of regardless of what their level of understanding may or may not have been, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to be speaking on people's level of understanding like that. But don't let none of these Israelite dudes tell you, man, if you had mothers or grandmothers, fathers or grandfathers, uncles or aunts or whatever the case may be, that had a strong pattern of faith that you watched as a child, just tell you ought to toss that to the side because they was Christians, man. That's idiotic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's idiotic. Of course, you know, they may have not had everything doctrinally sound. Okay, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not, nah, man. I'm not gonna tell you toss that to the side because I don't know what level of impact them people had on your life, man. If they had a positive impact on your life, then hey, man, you need to hold fast to that positive impact. However, that was dispensed to you. Anybody telling you anything other is an idiot. In my estimation, in my humble opinion, that person's stupid. Never disregard anybody who had a positive impact on your life. You know what I'm saying? That's just dumb. What it said, they said, I shall not be moved, just like a tree planted by the water. I shall not be moved. A quick hymn from the mothers of the church will sing. It's a real, absolutely. Yeah, that's Psalms 1. Yeah, that's Psalms 1 right there, man.
Yeah, people forget when they get in the word who are actually. Hey, that was your life. He put you that person in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody who was in your life, you know what I'm saying, that in a positive fashion, man. You know, you who had you come across the people, man. Everything, everybody, and everyone you came across, whether positive or negative, was to prepare you for the purposes of serving God when He revealed Himself to you. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, even when you come in the Word, you're gonna have positive and negative people you encounter. So, you know, you cast away the negative, and when I say cast that away, meaning their negative influence. You know what I'm saying? You can learn from whatever negative situation that you may have experienced with them to know how not to get yourself caught up in those type of situations again. But you don't cast away people who had a positive impact on your life. You know what I'm saying? That is absolutely stupid. You know what I'm saying? Especially when he was a Christian. How could he have a positive impact? That's how I know you an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Because that positive impact they had 9 times out of 10, they had nothing to do with the doctrinal stuff that these jackasses be arguing about 24/7. You know what I'm saying? These people probably gave you some foundational wisdom. You're probably seeing these people experience some difficult and hardships in life, and you might have actually seen in real time them leaning and trusting on God. You know what I'm saying? And probably experiencing it with more joy than these goofy niggas be talking about. Yeah, man, don't do that. Hebrews 12 and 25. See that you refuse not him that speak, for if they escape not who refuse him that spake on the earth, much more shall we not escape if we turn away from him that speaks from heaven. Whose voice then shook the earth, but now he hath promised, saying, yet once more I shake not the earth only, but also heaven. And this word, yes, once more signify the removing of those things that are shaken, as those things that are made, that those things which cannot be shaken may remain. Wherefore, we receiving a kingdom which cannot be moved, let us have grace, whereby we may serve Elohim acceptably with reverence and godly fear. Man, you built yourself on the word, man. You ain't gonna be moved, man. Don't be listening to these niggas, man. See, I know a lot of Israelite niggas probably don't care for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't have people say, oh, you sound like a Christian. Oh, nigga, you don't even know me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not none of you niggas, man. I ain't got no problem with the Christian church. I can't have a problem with something I never experienced. You know what I'm saying? And even if I experienced, I still wouldn't have a problem with it. What am I have a problem with them for? You know what the Christian church would have been for? The preparation to serve God. That's it. You know what I'm saying? It's all going to be on your perspective, man. If you look at certain things from a particular perspective, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they be trying to put people in the box. Then you're going to have a certain outlook. Like I had told Stone that one time, Barry. He was like, he asked son, I said, bro, I ain't never been to church, bro. He was like, you know, most black people, that's their story. Man, you know how many black people I know ain't never been to church, man? A lot. You know what I'm saying? I know that's the stereotypical story, but everybody people ain't in no word like that, man. Man, I ain't never been to church, bro. My people ain't talking about let's open up a Bible. It wasn't no Bible open in the house to Psalms 23. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never experienced none of that. None of that. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't looked down on them people for going to church. It was none of my business. Man, I ain't grow up looking at these church people. I didn't care. I didn't have anything positive or negative to think of them. How can I think positive or negative of something that I don't even know about, that I haven't even experienced, that I don't even understand? That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But when I got in the word, man. And I'm saying all that to say, man, don't have no preconceived notions on people because they worship a particular type of way or they're a part of something. That ain't how you going to reach the people, man. Just be a real person. If you can actually be reflective of merciful and gracious, abundant in long suffering. Abundant in goodness and truth, long suffering, showing mercy and forgiving individuals, man. You go a long way of reaching people than trying to battle about how they worship and what they worship and with information. You ain't gonna win no souls with no information, man. I can tell you that right now. He said he that wins souls is wise. That means you got to have some skills, cuz. That means you have to be skillful in interacting with human beings. And you can't reach everybody the same way. And you ain't going to reach everybody. But if you have a care and concern for people's souls, you'll be able to reach those who's supposed to be reached. But I need to eat, man. But I appreciate y'all. I bless y'all at the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua, man. I love y'all. Y'all keep standing firm and standing strong. Shalom, Mika, man. And y'all hold it down. And y'all willing, man, on Shabbat, we'll make it do what it do. Joanne, you being mean? All right, y'all.